That seems like a really good way to get things started. I love that music. And that comes to you courtesy of Zac Clay and comes to you courtesy of day one of ArvCon 2025. That's actually the soundtrack to Hand of Fate 2. But never mind that. It's up to the time has come, folks. We are here and ready to go. Welcome, Arvanauts, to day one of ArvCon 2025 to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation as the Arvocalists play D&D. This is unprecedented. Never before in human history has the Arvocalists, the greatest voice team on Twitch, had a chance to play Dungeons & Dragons with Zac Clay as the GM. This combination of events has never occurred before, and we are here ready to go. Before we get started, I'm not going to say anything about my channel today or this weekend except for a couple of related things to the charity in question, and that is, if you haven't done so, please follow the channel because that will help you get more information about this. And please also follow and subscribe to us on YouTube, which is free to do, !ArvTube, so you can hang out over on YouTube as well. But most important today is to please spread the word about our charity, and thank you so much to Shadowed Mage for fixing the bot, which I thought I had fixed and I clearly had not. But thank you so much for fixing everything as we are here with Damon Runyon. And before I say more, I am going to do this. Hey, it works. I'm here. We're here. We are ready to go, and we are ready with the team. So before I go any further, we're starting with comedy stand-up, yeah. Before we go any further, first of all, thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you in advance for spreading the word about this over the course of the weekend. This is a very important thing to us as a community. It's important to us personally to do so, and so it's a great honor to be able to be with you folks as we continue with ArvCon right there, ArvCon 2025, as you can see right below me, and we will start with the Arvocalists playing D&D. Before we get there, just a couple of notes here. This, again, is to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation, and if you follow me on social media, you will notice, you will hear that I had just found this, and I thought this was a very good sign. The newsletter of the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation is called Momentum. It is something which comes out, I believe, 4 times a year. And today literally showed up in my mailbox and had this as a feature. ArvCon celebrates 10 years of grassroots fundraising. That is yours truly right there. And it is an article featuring us talking about what we've done for this particular event. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll just say every Memorial Day weekend since 2015, author, professor, and Twitch TV host Gregory Wilson has organized a live stream gaming fundraiser known as ArvCon to benefit Damon Runyon. We spoke with him about why he raises money for cancer research and why he thinks others should too. I want to thank Grace, who was the science writer that did this, and of course, Megan McCurdy, who is our connection at Damon Runyon, for doing this. It is a great honor to be able to raise money for these folks, and even more of an honor that we were put as a part of this. Thank you so much, Dragon Lucifer, for joining us. Very, very excited to be able to have the crew with us. And so you may ask, why are we all here? Well, this is a 4-day event to benefit Damon Runyon, which is a foundation that funds young researchers, cancer researchers, who have sort of incredibly interesting and intriguing concepts that are essentially big swings, things that make connections in a variety of scientifically veracity, you can confirm that it is correct, right? Scientifically legitimate approaches, but they are ones which are outside the bounds of what a lot of funding agencies feel comfortable being able to do because can be somewhat risky. That's where Damon Runyon comes in. They have multiple Nobel Prize winners as those who have been previous Damon Runyon fellows, and I've had the chance over the last at least 5 to 6 years to speak directly to some of the scientists who have been a part of this. It is a great honor to be able to see and hear what it is that they're doing, thinking outside the box and using their energy and resources and intelligence and thoughtfulness and innovativeness to be able to produce new ways to approach cancer on a variety of levels, all of which benefit cancer research as we try to go after this scourge of a disease. Many of you will know, and I'll talk more about this over the course of the weekend, that this is a personal thing for me. My mother passed away from breast cancer. My oldest friend of 40 years, passed away a couple of years ago of an aggressive form of bone cancer. I've had pets that have died from cancer and so on. So it has been an unwelcome presence in my life. And I know for many, many people that are watching and listening today that has been the case for them. But I also want to point out that there have been a lot of success stories, a lot of people who are cancer survivors and who are here because of the work that organizations like Damon Runyon has done. And it was something that I felt it was important to say not just the stuff of the people we lost, but also to talk about the people that we haven't lost and that are here because of this work. And so it is in that spirit that we conduct ArvCon every year, and it is in that spirit that we are going to begin today 30 hours of content, of entertainment, of tabletop entertainment, count them, six separate tabletop events, plus a concert, plus an interview, giveaways, and all that sort of stuff. You can see the schedule that's there on the left side of your screen, but I'll get more into that event stuff tomorrow and a little bit after the session is done tonight, because I don't want to hold those folks back too long. The last thing I do want to mention, though, which is really important, is about this number you see over here, because we already have a $250 donation that came in before the event even started from Thordax Mommy. We are grateful to Thordax Mommy for that, but it's important to recognize that not only do we have these donations going up, but those are also triggered with a variety of giveaways, which both Triffity Mats and Dragonspear have worked tirelessly to produce a sheet for various giveaways. We have codes and books and a whole bunch of stuff given from that group you see over there: Alligator Alley Entertainment, Athos Arts, Catalyst Game Labs, Fatbot Games, Free League, GOGCOM, Nomad Games, and Tin Man Games, all of our corporate sponsors this year. We're so grateful to them, and we're also grateful to the people who have given us their top donation prizes. And so I just want to say that quickly. The third top donation prize is going to the highest donor, and that's the total over the course of the weekend. So the highest donor, assuming that you're not anonymous and you're willing to let us know your name, is going to receive a pack of 2 board games, Super Camelot and Vikings the board game, both from Catalyst. They will also receive a book prize pack from yours truly, which will include Icarus, and it will include Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic, and a set of dice. So that's going to go to the third top donor. The second top donor is going to get... Whoa! Sorry, that's going to happen quite a bit, as we just got a $10 donation. $10 donation from Prince Justin, as you can see up there, as we're up to 260. Thank you so much, Prince Justin. That is a great way to get started. Thank you, thank you. That sound you're going to hear quite a bit, by the way. Thank you so much, Prince Justin. And speaking of Prince Justin, the second top donor is not going to get that one. Wait a minute. That's the wrong one. Is going to get this one. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. The second top donor is going to get this. This is Prince Justin was kind enough to give me this one, and that was very generous of him. But there is another one that will be shipped to you. And this, if you can see, and I have it in this sort of greenish light right now. I'll show this again during the course of the weekend. But this is, I believe, a picture of the Mississippi River. And I believe Prince Justin can tell me if I'm wrong. But is an actual, amazing, incredible quality photo that is put on something which, as you see, is suitable for placing on a stand. This will be sent to the second top donor. It is really wild. Like, it is an amazing, amazing thing. So you will get that if you are the second top donor here. And the top donor is going to receive this from our very own Drew the Damager. Second top donor is going to receive this. Second top donor is going to receive this. This gorgeous, gorgeous, also equally gorgeous to Prince Justin's photograph here, which has been placed onto this large metal frame, suitable not just for framing, it's already been framed. As you can see, there's all the hardware to hang it. You can literally hang it up here. That is what the top donor is going to receive for today. So the top donor will receive that from True the Damager. Second one will receive, I can't hold everything, will receive this right here from Prince Justin. And the third top donor will receive 2 board games plus 4 of my books and a dice set all of which is going to come to the people who are the top donors. So we're just getting started. Hey, Rip and the Goon. So that's what we're doing here to raise money. Now, last point. If you want to donate, as Prince Justin was just kind enough to do, the way to do it is to type in !donate. If you go over to that link and donate, we will then get a notification over here. And that bar that you see up at the top left will update. What we want here is we want to be able to update in such a way that we can get this number up to our goal, which is $5,000. If we hit $5,000 for the weekend, or frankly go over it, we will surpass $40,000 raised for Damon Runyon in the 11-year history of the event, and the 10 years that were specifically just for Damon Runyon, which would be amazing. So especially since we have Damon Runyon themselves sponsoring this, in addition to all of the other folks, this is why we're all here to do it. Tons of entertainment, tons of fun, tons of community. So if you can donate, please do so. But I want to make clear that even if you cannot donate, the best thing you can do is to spread the word. Let everybody know that this is going on and bring them here. And the second best thing you can do is to be sitting right in this channel right now and providing the awesome community background that you folks always do. If we can do that, we can do that together. It'll be another example of coming together. And this year in particular, folks, I was told directly by the people at Damon Runyon that they really need an event like this because it's so different from any of the other fundraiser events that get done. And morale for scientists in the United States has not been super high of late. I wonder why. This is a chance to actually work back against that by us, the people, locally providing that level of support. So thank you so much for everyone who is here. Hello to so many that I've seen: Rip and the Goon, Prince Justin, Ballstag, Triffid, Master of of course, about which more in a minute, Dragon Spear, Shadowed Mage, all these things. So very, very, very excited for all of it. I just am so grateful to everyone who's able to make this what it is. Now, with that said, the time has come. I am going to unmute myself and let the folks know that we are ready to go and apologize to them. And now I am going to unmute them and also unmute the music. Yeah, that music, clutch. I'm probably going to turn it down a little bit on my end, which I'll do in a minute. And finally, bring you over to reveal the crew. That's right, we are here. The Arvocalists are here. And just while I was doing that little introduction, Arvocalists, we already got $10 immediately from Prince Justin right out of the gate. And we already had $250, although it was very important. I was told to tell you by the Eberron crew that the $250 counts for them, because the agreement was that John and Tren would shave their beards into a Fu Manchu look, mustache type of look. So
is this helpers?
Yes, John.
Oh yeah,
helpers.
Absolutely. They can have the 250.
Yeah. So they're just letting you know they take the 250 on. So it'll be up to us to raise money. We only have 240 to catch them, basically, but we will see. Anyway, they are here. We are ready to go. The only one we're missing right now is KP, who is driving and is in the midst of a family trip, but will join us hopefully as soon as he can. In the meantime, though, it's my great pleasure to, you'll notice I'm not in the Dungeon Master part. That's not me this time. This time, it's your boy Zac Clay right up there at the top of the column. So I'm going to introduce Zac, and I'm going to turn down the music on my end because it's awesome, but it is a little bit loud. So welcome. That's more like it. Welcome, Zac. Zac, how are you? How's life? How's the universe? Thank you for doing this. And yeah, welcome. This the first time of 2 times we're going to see you this weekend. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling great. It's my second time DMing on the internet.
He warmed up with, Critical Role.
I warmed
small.
up with Critical Role.
Yeah,
But with all jokes aside, I'm actually very excited and very happy to be here. It's my, at least 3rd, 4th, or 5th ArvCon. I've
gotta be 4th or 5th, yeah.
Yeah. Always such a great cause that I also have some personal investment in. Many family members, including my mom, who suffered from cancer, and so very happy to, do what I can and to take part in this awesome charity event. And also, too, the fact that it's a whole bunch of storytelling and music and all the stuff that's right up my alley, and all the people that are involved with it, I really dearly love. So I'm really excited for tonight. I threw together a custom one-shot that's are a little bit Arvocalist themed, mostly in the sense that there's some things that have to do with voices in this one shot. We'll see how it goes. I've never done this before, so it should be a good time. And yeah, that's it for me for now. Before we begin,
I am excited. Thank you, Zach, for agreeing to do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, you all know me already. I run things this channel around here. Arvin Elleron, also known as Gregory Wilson, for those of you who don't know me elsewhere. I am an author and a college professor and a streamer, and among other things, but those are the main important things for this channel and this event. And it is my great honor to be able to host this event and to play with these lovely people. And so I'm going to hand things back forward, or down, I should say, forward, down the column, to Rem Alternus, who has specifically, just for this event, done a bunch of body modification for her ears. So she said she was going to do it. I was like, this seems like a little extreme, but I appreciate the commitment, and that's what we have. So Rem, I hope you enjoy the new ears.
Cyberpunk is life. This is my first augmentation, guys.
It's key. It's absolutely key.
I didn't even fix my vision yet, like
it was just the ears you started with first.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? I know you mentioned that you were excited. Is that true? Can you confirm?
I am so excited, guys. I used to stream D&D all the time on my own channel, and then I when I got hired with Catalyst, you join the industry because you love gaming, and then you never have time for gaming anymore. So I'm like, this is my first live stream of D&D in quite a while, and I'm so excited. I'm playing what is my name? Bria Fitzriley. And she is a halfling barbarian. And tell you what, for every $10 we go up, I'm going to up the level of angry that she gets as we go. So start it early and start it often.
That's what I like to see. Yeah, and I should have mentioned also, because I forgot to say this, that I am playing a human monk whose name is Navra Norel. It is a name that comes from antiquity, and it's very obscure and opaque, and I'm sure that no one will understand what that's all about. We'll hopefully all figure it out later on. I think for every $10, the more angry that Fitz gets, the more serene Navra will get, like the more balanced, so think of it that way. This will be balance, and then it will be Indy's job to unbalance us, maybe. I don't know. We will see what happens with KP. But then when KP gets here with characters that he's playing. But that brings us to Indy, who has also shown up wearing the costume, for which I am most grateful. Yeah, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. That is just absolutely incomparably badass. Indy, my friend, how are you doing? How's everything with you? And how are you feeling to play your first tabletop role play on stream? Let's go. Where's the chat? Can I get some hype for Indy playing the first TTRPG online that he's playing? Yeah, with the stream. And Ballsteg with $10 donation. Thank you, Ballsteg.
Woo, thank you.
That means I get more serene, Rem gets angrier, and Indy gets even more hyped. Indy, how are you feeling about doing that?
I am very excited. This is something I've had so many people ask me to do, want to do, and people have talked about it for so long, and now I have the opportunity to finally get to do something. And I'm sorry to interrupt. We just had a $248 2-cent donation to bring us to 518.02, courtesy of Hillness, who always brings it every year. This also means, I'm just saying, we are currently in the lead. I'm just saying we have yeah, like, I mean, we didn't even start playing. All you needed to do was to have Rem with the ears, and you put the thing up, and everyone's like, well, I mean, take my money. Like, that was
heck yeah.
That was all that was. Thank you, everybody. Oh my God. Thank you, Hillness. Thank you, Ballstick. Thank you, Prince Justin. Thank you, Thordex Mommy. Thank you. Let's keep it going.
I guess I'm starting out spicy, so
yeah, it's gonna get even.
You're starting out pretty spicy.
Ghost pepper spice is what we're looking at.
$250 worth of spicy.
That is something else. I'm sorry, Andy. Go on.
No, you're good. I'm very excited to be here. First time. Yeah, had a lot of people say, like, oh, dude, you should do D&D. You should do it. I'm like, sure. And I never do. And then here we are. So this will be fun. So I'm playing.
Next week on your channel will be Pokemon the RPG.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm playing a Dragonborn Warlock named Indus Character.
So good.
Mainly because I just thought it was funny when I booted up my character and it just said Indy's character that Zach had made for me, and I was like, oh, this is actually just perfect. I'm just stick with that.
Listen, I thought it was something that'd been passed down for generations from like your grandparents and like
you see
from the old country. And
Zach actually is my great grandparent.
I always
so
suspect
like it literally has been.
This is how we tell them.
I didn't. It's Greg's fault. Okay, I wasn't going to say it.
My fault.
Here we are. It's you brought it up.
Oh, okay. Hilness said the donation message. You wanted to know Rem's secret, Captain? They're always angry. Also, even numbers are best. Yeah, that's true. This also starts something. One of the last thing I want to mention, this happens every year. I don't understand how this works, but what happens is there's this battle between people who want even numbers, like on the number, and odd numbers. And I swear to God, like at some point Classic will join and they just battle back and forth like, no, I want it even. No, odd. And then all of a sudden the numbers just shoot up and I'm like, listen, man, I'll take whatever. Like whatever's clever as long as it's getting the money. So, and the first raffle of ArvCon 11 is in progress. Please type ArvCon to win game codes. We have some good ones, by the way. GogCom has given us the new Breath of Fire 4 code, one of the Resident Evil codes. We have tons of stuff we have a BattleTech one from Harebrained Schemes, I believe. We have that was a leftover one actually. We have codes from Tin Man Games. The new talisman that just dropped from Nomad. They've given us codes for that. So we got a lot of stuff. So please type in ArvCon to win codes for what you see listed there. Some digital, some physical, depends on what it says on the code. So yes, this is going to be happening a lot. There's going to be a lot of, do this and all this because of the charity. But, so yeah. Oh, duck odds. That's a good question, Dragolusfer. It's true. I don't have the awesome duck game that Indy often has had on the channel. I gotta
bring it back.
Yeah, you got to bring it back. That was fun.
Long.
But yeah, definitely enter though, folks, if you want that. Type in ArvCon. You don't need to have donated. As long as you were here, you can get it. All right. So Indy is excited. We're excited. Playing a Dragonborn. And actually, I know the name. What was it's a Dragonborn sorcerer, right?
Warlock.
Oh, Warlock. Sorry.
Yes.
Beg your pardon. That's a big difference.
Selling that soul.
It is different.
Yeah. No,
it's different.
I absolutely. Okay. And it is Indy S. No, it's Indy's C.
Character.
Character. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
It's Indy's character.
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 Okay. All right. Well, we're ready. As ready as we're gonna be, I suppose, Zach. So let's take this bad boy away, shall we?
All right. Allow me a moment to set our ambience to something new.
Okay.
Let's see. Get some good tabletop audio. Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So it'll just be a nice little forest day for a little bit. Okay. So kicking off ArvCon with a D&D one-shot for the Arvocalists. I'm so happy you guys are all here. So excited. I think also we may have mentioned before my first time running D&D for Greg, which is going to be amazing. Also, you may intermittently hear a dog losing its mind behind me. I can't do much about it. I'll do my best to mute in between. But
it's a distant traveler.
Yeah, it's a distant traveler with his pit bull that he's relentlessly trying to hold back. So, our story begins in the quaint town of Silibrin, where festive, colorful banners, the laughter of children, and the sounds of townsfolk at work greet us. And a dog absolutely losing its mind. Before we continue, let me see if I can maybe
I'm fully
adjust
immersed.
my
There's a dog barking.
I can adjust my sensitivity down and maybe bring my mic closer or something.
That's fine.
It's all
Dark
good.
night with a wolf howling at the moon.
Yes.
It's
It's all good.
Am I too soft now?
No,
you sound
no, it's fine. Okay, cool.
I can hear.
All right. Yeah. So the sounds of the townsfolk, colorful banners, the laughter of children. I'll bring you all to this sort of quaint little town that you guys have all been spending time at for the last little while.
Okay.
And tomorrow, here in Cilibrim, is a day of great magic and wonder, where the barriers between worlds and realms are at their thinnest. Here in Cilibrim, the locals call this day the Singer's Solstice. For as long as the town has been established, a beautiful sorceress enchants the people with a magical song that quite literally uplifts the spirits. A song that brings inspiration to the living and rouses the souls of the dead. But this is not a grim occasion, quite the opposite in fact. Here in Cilibrim, during the singular solstice day, when the sorceress sings her song, it is the only day where those in Cilibrim can speak and dance with their late ancestors for just that one day in the long year. Each of you, for various reasons, of which we will learn soon, have found your way here to Cilibrim and gotten to know each other as adventurers. You all are pretty much the only kind of your folk here. The folk that wield swords and shields and strange magics. Everyone else here in Cilibrim has lived a quiet life, and one of craft and trade, of mead and celebration and storytelling. And it's based on your various arrivals, actually been something you've been looking forward to, probably. This solstice that is coming up tomorrow. Perhaps even some of the villagers have discussed with you. There is a chance that your own ancestors could appear during the solstice. As you're all in this space, we see striding forward into the town square as it is roughly filled with people of all sorts. You see dwarves that are kind of moving crates and barrels. Oh, sorry, excuse me. As they're making their way through the town, you see these banners being hung by a married couple, these elves that are kind of hanging these colorful banners between different buildings. And of course, this central anvil, Cilibrim itself, you're told, was established as a forest dwarf city long, long ago, but since then has become home to many a varied people. And in this space, we see the mayor of Cilibrim step forward, a man who appears as such. You've been told half-elven, and his name is Laren Shalebreeze. Mayor Laren, you're told, was an adventurer just like you up until recently. He was both a mayor and an adventurer concurrently, even at times, although he returned from some sort of trip in the past few weeks that made him put down his sword and retire it to continue solely as a mayor. In your time here in the town, he has actually sort of been at the least dismissive and sometimes even a bit callous and passive-aggressive toward each of you. And each of you being a bit unsure as to exactly why. But despite this, the mayor steps forward, and as is customary, he takes the single and then second and third step up to the anvil and stands next to it as he addresses all the citizens. You all stand with your various items, which we'll have you describe your characters in a moment. But he says, "Citizens of Cilibrim, tomorrow we celebrate the solstice, the brightest day of the year and the heart of our town's tradition. The square is nearly ready. The lanterns and banners are set." At this point, you hear a crash as a few lanterns land on the ground and break, and everyone's like, ooh. And you see the mayor turns and kind of scratches his head and says, almost set. "Candles placed at our hearths. At dawn tomorrow, our beloved sorceress will sing her song of reunion." He gestures over, and you see the sorceress, who, up until now, you actually have not seen exit out. She is perhaps the most notable, most famed person in this town. This elven woman who, at this very moment, unlike what is depicted here, may not be looking at a note, but this is what she looks like. You do see, though, each of you, that her current countenance seems a bit, well, maybe this is an opportunity for our first roll, an insight check. So what each of you are going to do as you look over at the singer is on D&D Beyond. You'll see, and again, for those of us in our audience, there are people in our audience who maybe have never played D&D before. And then also, of course, Indy, you've never played, so this is perfect for you as well. So you'll see a tall column of skills, Indy, that starts with like athletics, acrobatics, animal handling, and you're going to make an insight check. So that is the skill that we use to discern the intent or emotions or feelings of someone. So you can click it probably says a plus or something next to insight. You can just click that. And hopefully...
When you do that, it'll pop up a little thing on the right that will then say Beyond 20, I think. And if you click Beyond 20, it will then make the roll. That's what it did for me. The dice roll on chat, by the way, is dimmed for everybody at the moment because Zach's showing us the picture of this sorcerer. So just be aware that it'll be... That's okay. Like, just let everyone know.
And as far as that, too, these are some good rolls we'll get to in a moment. Whenever I make something pop up like that, like this, or like the singer, the sorceress... You can just click roll 20 and it'll go away.
Oh, okay.
I actually can't do that, so you have to make it go away when you want. But, all right, so with those insight rolls, we'll see what you think about this sorceress. So, Fitz, Rem's character, is 19. And for those that don't know, too, there's a sliding scale in D&D. For something, when you make a roll that has a chance of success or failure, the scale kind of goes, if something's really easy to do, you just need to roll like a 5. You know, we're basically simulating rolling a 20-sided die. If something's really hard to do, you might need to roll like a 20. And so a 19, very, very good. It would be unlikely that you can't get something good of an insight out of a 19.
Thank you to Kender Mage for the $10 donation, by the way. It brings us to 528.02. Thank you.
Whoa.
Let's keep that going.
Thanks, Kender. Love you.
Mm-hmm. And with a 12, we have Navra Norell, Greg's character, looking over. I'll get to the results of that in a moment. And then
I don't know how much I'm looking over. I think I'm being too serene. Like I'm within myself.
Yes. And then with a baffling 21, Indy's character, you see deep into the truth within this sorceress.
He is the one.
Yes, you are the one. So, Navra, you look over as the mayor, again, we're kind of in slow motion. He's gestured over to her, and he has just said, at dawn tomorrow, our beloved sorceress will sing this song. You look over at her, and you see a smile on her face, as if, kind of almost like she's trying to please the dignitaries sort of thing, like a noble in the presence of normal villagers, although... To what you understand, she's a normal villager herself. Now, Fitz, as you look over, you see a little bit deeper into that expression she has on her face. This is definitely her masking some sort of feeling of worry or fear or anxiety that's more than just like performance anxiety. Like she's supposed to sing tomorrow as part of this magical solstice, but there's something deeper going on there. And Indy's character, you, our Dragonborn friend, you look over, you get all of that, plus the idea that you see she sort of looks at all of you and then looks away and then looks around the village. Again, this sort of masked smile. This is the sort of deep set anxiety that you feel like is deeply tied with her core as a person, which tells you that there's a problem with her singing. If this is what she's known for, this singing sorceress, you feel like the reason why she has this painted on smile is because something is really, really wrong with that specifically. So core to who she is. And despite this, the mayor continues and says, as she does each year, the song will sing a melody that inspires our toils and troubles and calls our ancestors home. so we may all share laughter and stories and joy with those around us in the village and those who came before us. So finish the wreaths, fix the lanterns and then light them, and prepare your hearts for a celebration. Tomorrow Celebrimm shines and sings together, past and present hand in hand. Tomorrow our sorceress will sing, and with the applause of the villagers around, our view lifts up and then pans back down from the daytime sky to the interior of the mayor's office here, where right after he has just said, "Tomorrow our sorceress will sing," we see he is pacing around his office and the sorceress is biting her nails. As he looks at all of you, we've cut forward, and he says, "The sorceress can't sing. We are in desperate need. I've called all of you in. You've been recognized as adventurers in the town. I've seen you guys sparring, your magic, everything. Please, I need your help." He looks past you, sees that the door is closed. You can hear and see through the window still the bustle of everyone getting ready for the solstice tomorrow. And then he looks back at all of you and he says, "We don't know what happened, but her voice is just gone." And the mayor gestures over to her. You know her name to be Eliris. And Eliris, you see she goes to speak and you just hear, and she just sort of groans. The mayor says, we've tried medicinal remedies, we've tried everything except magic that we don't have at our disposal, and frankly, I'm not sure that you do either. The only thing that I think it might be is that I was out a couple weeks ago. You may have heard of myself as a mayor. I know I was sort of brushing you all off. I can explain all that too, but I was exploring with a few other adventurers who happened to be in town. We came across this sort of old crypt. I was very excited. You know, I'm mayor and adventurer. I'm trying not to let go of my adventuring days. But we came across a journal at this crypt, this weird tomb crypt place, and it said something about a voiceless king. And so my only thought is we didn't go in. We were scared enough by what happened, so I turned back, I came back, and I decided maybe this adventuring thing's not for me. Let me just focus on being a mayor. But I don't know, maybe I unleashed some sort of curse or something by entering the tomb. I have to stay here, help everyone get ready, help console her, and make sure appearances are still good. But if you all could, just maybe go to that tomb, see if I did release something, or if there is some key to getting her voice back. I mean, it's the tomb of a voiceless king. Maybe he hoarded voices. Just find one. As long as it's somewhat suitable. I don't know if that's how it works. You see, she kind of shoots a look at him.
I'm gonna insight check this guy. I don't.
Okay.
I'm like, what? All right.
Give me an insight check. A 10.
Tremendous. I'm sure it's completely up on the up and up. It sounds totally believable.
You think that maybe there's a part of him that's not telling you literally everything about this adventure, but the read that you get on him now is that he feels a bit guilty, but he's also unsure if this is even what has happened.
Yeah. If I may.
Mm-hmm. As you go to speak, actually, and our view pans over to you, would you actually describe what your kind of any details about your character, what you imagine, what you're wearing, your demeanor? And...
So I would say, yes, I would say that my character is dressed in what appears to be a simple brown tunic, brown pants, cloth pants, and a cloak, although the hood is back. My character is bald, and has this sort of almost fathomless depth to his green eyes that you can see, and he's I would say that he is. It's a little bit hard to tell about age. This is one of those ageless faces that could be anywhere from 30 to 60, and it would all sort of fit. Just basically imagine someone who's a combination of like Denzel Washington and, you know, like never actually ages, just continues to be awesome all the time. Anyway, and has no evident weapons that you can see, nor seems to have any obvious like backpack or equipment or anything like that. And when he steps forward, he says, and he tends to speak slowly and very distinctly, but quietly, but with an attempt to have every word be heard in a room if he's there. And he says, if I may ask, Mayor, I am curious, Eliris, if there are enemies that you know of, those who would wish you or this town harm. Any information would be of help to us.
You see, she looks at you and kind of holds up a finger, and she goes to the desk of the mayor and gets a notepad where you already see that she had been communicating with him by writing things down.
Okay.
She flips to a new page and begins to write. In the meantime, the mayor says, I know you all haven't been here long, but not as far as I know. Cillabrim's mostly been a peaceful town, and people rarely mess with us, with the presence of someone like myself as a sort of old, but still got my gears with me, adventurer. We also have the guardian, Big Boulder, of course. And what comes to mind when he says that is, as you guys have been here, there is an old and weathered earth elemental, just this walking stack of rocks that can be seen patrolling around the village and is rather friendly. As you guys were outside during the mayor's speech, there were kids that were actively putting flower wreaths around Big Boulder, and the earth elemental was just sort of standing there inert, letting it happen. And with that, you see Eliris moves forward and passes you a note where she says, when I was a child growing up, I came from a noble family that occasionally was under threat. At worst, my second cousin was almost assassinated, but that always seemed a bit more focused on that side of my family. I've been here for many years, and I've never met any trouble. I'm not sure who would do this. The mayor looks at our other two players, or characters that they're playing, rather, and he says, any other thoughts? Or, this tomb, I'll be honest with you, we were going to go into it, but the journal that some other archaeologist, I guess, left behind as a warning not to go in was enough to make us not go in. I hate to do it, but it's the only solution that I see. He looks over at you. So, Rem, would you mind describing your character as she raises her hand gently?
So, Bria Fitzriley prefers to go by Riley, but people tend to call her Fitz. And she is she's real petite. She's downright cute. She looks like a 12-year-old, but is actually in her 20s. And she's got real short red hair. Her ears are sticking up through the hair. She's got a green and brown kind of jerkin into a dress thing where, like, she's got the big belt loop so she can hike her dress into her belt when she's ready to get into a fight. And she's always ready to get into a fight. Her knuckles are all scabbed and healing. And even her voice is like tinkly little kid's high-pitched cute voice, but the things she says are not cute. And she goes, 2 questions for you. 1, you're an idiot. 2, how much are we getting paid?
see the mayor goes red in the face, and he kind of slumps his shoulders, and he says, right. Look, I can secure. He goes under his desk, and he pulls out pouches that look a bit smaller than you'd hope. Like they'd only fit maybe a few tens of coin, and he puts 3 of them out. If/when KP joins us, we'll just sort of he was there the whole time, sort of thing. But
I take the 3, put them in my pockets, and goes, "Where's their payment?"
he says that you have all of it. Those have 10 platinum pieces each, which is 100 gold. That I was going to give you if you could find a solution, but I suppose if it's worth your trouble, then yeah, take it. I'll let you both figure out how that's distributed. He points over at Navra and Indies.
I look at Indies and I'm like, the money is of no consequence to me. You may take my share, if that is you can successfully extract it from Bria. Because I assume that Bria has like double zipped, buttoned, wrapped, and like placed under nuclear watch the money that has been given. I'm guessing.
I side eye Indies and smirk a little.
Mm-hmm. Indies,
I open
as we look over at your character. First, describe anything that you'd like.
So, Indies is a Dragonborn warlock. Kind of only speaks when he has something very, very important or necessary to say. Kind of the sort of strong, silent type, but also a little mysterious in terms of being the warlock, having the ability to kind of sense what's going on around and try and manipulate the situation according to his desire of that moment. Also has the ability to breathe acid as part of being a dragon, which is kind of cool. And so in this particular moment, I simply open my mouth very, very wide, looking over at the rest of them, just reminding, should you mess with me and try and take my money, potentially something would go wrong. But close my mouth once again and simply say, the funds may go wherever they need to go. It is of no importance to me.
The mayor nods his head and then looks over at Fitzriley and says, and to your first statement, I have been called an idiot many a time. I no offense taken. Hey,
you're not the first politician that's happened to.
Yeah. I was an adventurer first. I sort of, you know what? It doesn't matter. Okay. Well,
I just have one question for you, adventurer. Did you take an arrow to the knee?
Well, you see the sorceress sort of blushes and laughs, but as she laughs, she just opens her mouth and goes to laugh. No sound comes out, and then she kind of pouts it and like looks sad again. The mayor sort of chuckles and says, not quite yet, in either sense, no. So, I don't know, maybe they're still out there. The potential person that I would take an arrow in the knee for, not the actual arrow. Still need to get used to this. Anyway, look, okay, you've been in town for a little bit. I know you're also probably maybe waiting for the solstice. I don't know if you have ancestors that you wish to speak to, or if you just came to this town to rest or make money or gold. I mean, at least for one of you. But the tomb is not that far off. I believe that if you go out there, you may even see the remnants of our camp. I'll give you a map to get to it. It means if you are able to get in there and investigate some things, if there is some sort of curse to be broken or what have you, I think you should still be able to make it back tomorrow for the solstice. But I suppose that's about everything.
As soon as he says that's about everything, while he's doing his whole talk, Fitz takes like a heavy, maybe hopefully pricey looking paperweight from the desk and is kind of tossing it, entertaining herself as she goes. And as soon as he said that's everything, he goes, she just leaves, still tossing the thing in the air. She's gone.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, all right. That was the last mayor's anyway. It's okay." He looks at the two that remain.
We will endeavor to make sure that these are the only extra things that Bria acquires. But first we must find this tomb. I do not suppose there is anyone who may be able to assist us in this process. Perhaps some guards or militia members or cooks who could give us sweet rolls, anything.
He nods and he says, "I hesitate to send anyone from the village with you in case it is a real danger. But I can direct you to Brimley. He could sell you probably some potions, or in fact, here." He writes a note, hands it to you, and says, "Give him this note. I'll ask him, maybe he could supply you with a potion of healing or two, or some scrolls. He gathers magic items and useful things for adventurers."
Thank you.
That's the best I can do.
And the note, by the way, sort of vanishes beneath the cloak, and if you're looking closely, there seems to be a flash of something else. You don't exactly know what it is. But disappears behind or below the robe or the cloak, and
I know it's below the robe.
yeah, that's a whole different kind of. And you're not even there, okay? You're tossing a paperweight on
the.
All right. Well, then, I mean, I guess we got ourselves a tomb to go raid. Are you right outside, Bria? Like when we go out?
Oh no, I from the map, I'm just heading to the cave.
You just head to the cave.
All right.
My legs are very short. If you want to make a detour on the way, it's probably fine.
Okay.
I see.
I'm not known for my thinking things through.
Sounds reasonable.
Indies, do you leave the office as well?
Stick around just to simply ask, do you have the name of the adventurer whose journal you had found?
He shakes his head. He says, "We left the journal there. It was sitting basically right as you go into the entrance. Someone had left it there. He characterized himself as some sort of archaeologist or something. I'm not even sure there was a name, but it was essentially a warning accompanied by all this research this guy had done about why this place is dangerous and mentions of this voiceless king thing. And then we kind of took a look into the first room and saw a corpse, and I don't know, I turned around, the adventurers that I was with hightailed it, so I just walked back too.
Thank you.
It should still be
leave.
there. Okay. You see, he awkwardly looks at the sorceress, who shrugs, and you all exit out into the town. You stop by, I suppose, before leaving Brimley, this dwarf. As you go to enter his shop, you see there's a counter there on the walls. There are a few adventuring supplies hanging up, including some mostly rusted swords and maces. You do see in the back there's a little crate that does seem to have some corked potion vials in it. And stepping up and hopping up on the counter, you see this dwarf with a long sort of red beard that's collected into a single thick braid with these like coils of gold around it. And his long red hair is collected behind him with a single shock of silver. And as you enter in, do you hand him the note, or how do you greet this shopkeeper?
Yeah, I would, go up and say, I believe you are known as Brimley.
That's right. Oh, I've been waiting for you all to come in. I know you've just been resting here in the town, but I've got some things, maybe. Also, don't mind my dog. She's quite a handful.
It is all right. We have seem to have quite a few of them in this village. We have brought you a note from the mayor. My name is Navra, and this my associate. And so again, there's a slight flash of something, and the note is given over to him. And I say the mayor asked us to give this to you on our behalf.
He grabs the note and reads it and starts to grumble to himself.
Fine, okay. Free stuff, free stuff. That's great. I love it. Free. My favorite four-letter word.
And he goes to the back, comes back with a basically almost like the sort of carrier that you'd put drinks in, but it has potions.
They got a vanilla shake.
And, it's got a vanilla shake. You ordered this, you ordered that.
Definitely.
And he produces for each of you, or well, for the group, 2 potions of healing and 2 scrolls. And he says,
those are healing potions. These old scrolls, I think one of them lets you speak with the dead. The other one lets you speak with animals.
Okay. Indies, how you feel about taking one of each of those potions, one for you, one for me, since we seem to be missing our third companion at the moment.
That sounds good to me.
And then the scrolls we can give to whoever. Are these druid scrolls, Zach? Are they like any? Do we have any sense? Are they just readable or usable by anybody according to the way it's rendered, or what?
Mechanically, yes, readable or usable by anyone, these particular scrolls. If you want to, you can make an Arcana check to determine, like, if the scrolls were sort of made by a sorcerer or a wizard or a druid. But
is there any how do I ask this? Like, I know if you do a bad roll, potentially that could have a negative connotation. But like, is there any default pain or like default cost to doing a check? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
There is no cost to doing a check, yeah.
Okay, got it.
They're generally only prompted when maybe I ask for one based on something you guys are trying to do, or in many cases you could ask for one if you know what kind of role you think it might be. But no, you can generally focus on what you think your character would do, and then if that prompts a roll, then I'll tell you. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, as Navra, you look at the scroll, it's just, you're sure of how to activate it, and as you hold the scroll, the knowledge of how to release its magic is almost just seems natural, or almost like a muscle memory to you that you must simply, almost with the snap of a finger, cast. But as you look at the runes and markings on it, you do not recognize them or where they might have been from.
I have no need of understanding. Instead, I am one with the magic that this scroll provides. Also, I have no idea who wrote this.
That's not how the magic works.
It does not for you? How then does the magic work, my scaled friend?
You simply must channel it from deeper within. It is not simply given. I don't know what I'm saying. I apologize. I had a lot to drink.
I like that we're doing this in front of the dwarf, and then we cut to like Bria, and Bria's like, "Do-do-do,"
we're
running along.
Frankly, I'm honestly just so distracted. I wanted to ask you, dwarf. Brimley, was that your name?
That's right.
I believe I see in the very, very back corner. Is that a magic gun?
He looks back there. Sure. Let's see. And I'll tell you this. From time to time, a player character may very rarely have the wondrous ability to simply spawn in something into existence simply by saying it. Usually a power reserved for the dungeon master. How we'll decide this is with a luck roll. In the bottom left of D&D Beyond, you'll see a die symbol, right? And you're going to click that. You're going to roll the D20, which is the most faceted polygon, right? So just click
top
it once, the top one, and then you'll click roll. You need a 20 on this to spawn a magic gun in this room, because it's very unlikely.
Wow. Let's go. Come on.
Wait, so I clicked on it.
And then it should probably, once it'll click on it and it'll say you want to roll 1, it'll probably put a 1 next to it. And then there should be a thing that says roll at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, to everyone roll?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Come on, baby. Give me a 20. Come on, baby. We tried.
Oh,
okay,
that was pretty close. Does it like spawn like a crossbow? Like close to a gun?
I'll do something similar.
A BB gun?
He looks back and he says, "Your eyes must be fooling you." He walks to the back of the room. A 17's close enough that he walks back forward with a heavy crossbow.
Ooh.
Which is the largest and heaviest that they make them, hence the name. You can see.
How heavy are we talking here?
300 pounds.
I could look up the exact weight, but it's pretty heavy. You also know, I believe, as a warlock, that this kind of weapon is not the kind that you'd be trained necessarily to use. More your bailiwick is magic and maybe like simple weapons, but this is more of like a fighter's thing.
Got it.
He says,
I don't remember where I got this, but I've had it for a long time. Takes a good eye to shoot it, though.
he says,
You want it?
I sort of look
yes.
He says,
I do.
Can be yours just for,
he sort of like rotates it in his hands.
30 gold.
Now, you look into your inventory. You can't actually do this at the moment. In D&D Beyond, go to your inventory.
Uh-huh.
And at the top of your inventory to the right, it should have a little gold symbol.
Sorry, where is my inventory?
It's one of the tabs.
You see where the actions tab on the right? You'll see there's actions. One of the tabs there is inventory.
Yeah, it should say actions, spells,
underneath your armor
inventory.
class.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I see now. Okay, there's an extra little thing over here. I got it. Okay, cool. Yes, I see.
How much gold do you have?
I have. Where is gold? Where is gold?
Do you see your inventory at the moment?
Yeah, I
Like
see.
equipment.
It's a little
book,
symbol on
clothes,
the
and stuff
right
like that.
that has a number above the search bar. Once you click inventory, there's a search bar right above it. To the right is a number.
Yeah.
Is it the? Oh, I see. 25. Okay. Dang
Okay.
it! All right.
Yeah,
well,
he's
we
asking for
tried.
30. You could try to barter with him if you want. Welcome to D&D, Andy.
Okay,
You
got
want to
it.
barter with him?
What happened to the free that you mentioned when we first walked in?
He says, your special little mayor's note didn't say anything about a heavy crossbow that looks like a gun.
Fair
He's
enough.
spicy too. I like him.
It is possible the mayor himself did not realize that such a gun could have potentially existed. Many things appear when we least expect them.
I've decided I don't care enough. You can keep it.
The dwarf rolls his eyes. Now, meanwhile, back outside, as
I'm already done with the adventure, right?
Yeah, no, he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're going to one-man this instance.
Back
You're just going to
Chris is
straight
done,
in. Like,
voice is returned. No, you strode outside and made your way to begin the quest. You see that the sort of local guardian of the village, Big Boulder, this giant rocky golem, is standing on the bridge that is the way out of the village, and sort of turns, and with these, he basically has like two glowing embers as eyes, these gems that are set into his head, kind of looks over at you, and you see a couple of the village's kids run up to you as you're making your way out of the village. You see an elven child, an orc kid, and a halfling that all run up to you, and they say,
Hey, you're one of the adventurers, right? We want to see you fight. Can you fight Big Boulder?
they point at Big Boulder, and Big Boulder all the kids look back.
I look at them annoyed at first that they're like getting in my way on my mission here. But as they say that, my like eyes light up for a second and then turn to Big Boulder, and I try to match the embers in the eyes to the fire in my own as I draw my axe, my great axe, stab, like hit it into the ground, spit in my hands, roll up the sleeves, and go I don't know what to say. That's spicy. Bring it.
Okay.
Bring it.
You see Big Boulder kind of lowers into a fighting stance, and we're going to roll initiative. This will start just with Fitzriley and Big Boulder, but soon enough, the other two of you will hear what's outside.
Outstanding.
I'm going to get the map set up. I'll change our music, and I'll let you guys all know also mechanically and narratively. So this is kind of a little trial run for combat. So this little encounter with Big Boulder, with the very low stakes sort of kind of jousting in the middle of the square sort of thing. And so this will be a way for you to kind of test out a move that you want to do. That means also, like, if you have an ability that has a limited use, like Rage, or if you're casting a spell slot, or for you, I believe in 2014 they're called key points. In 2024 they're called discipline points. You can use them interchangeably because we'll probably get confused. But you can spend those resources, and for this particular narrative combat, you don't have to worry about them getting spent. I will refresh anything that you use during this little combat with Big Boulder will get refreshed. So you can feel free to kind of go ham.
Outstanding. Okay, it's a tutorial combat, y'all. Let's go.
Exactly. So let me get this going. You guys
also, it should be 20, Zach, not 9. For some reason, it rolled it twice.
Okay, got it.
Although I think... So, Indy, is that a 17? Did you roll a 17 for initiative, or... Did you not?
That was the luck, right?
That was the luck. So
that was the luck roll. Okay, yeah.
Yep. So, Indy, what you're going to do, kind of near the top of your sheet, near the shield icon, you should see a button. Exactly. You can just go ahead and click that.
I didn't click that. Okay. Also, how are you guys seeing what everyone else is rolling?
So, if you go back to roll 20, then in roll 20, there's a little speech bubble icon in the top right. It's next to a painter's.
I see.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Let me get us some combative music. And
I roll a 9.
Yeah.
Yikes.
All right, I'll put it a little soft for now. Okay. So, and I'll bring you guys to the map. Okay.
Have a good night, Hilnis. Thank you again so much for that donation.
Thank you.
While this is being set up, folks, we are here with day one of ArvCon, already having a blast. This is to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. We have already raised $528.02, which is amazing. We need to keep that going. The way you do that is by typing an ! donate, as Prince Justin just did. Click on that link. You can go over and then donate to the campaign. All of that donation money is not only going to benefit Damon Runyon, but it also means that we're going to be able to run this series of giveaways that will continue. The top donors will get even more spectacular prizes, but everyone's going to win because we're spending all of this towards to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. So please do that. We're going to be with you here for another 2-ish hours, hour and 45-ish, something like that. So while we're with you, please do continue to donate and spread the word about this, and let's continue to get that number onwards and upwards.
Okay, amazing. All right, and I will get a turn order here. Got to add everything manually because of how it shook out. But all right, so we had Fitzriley with a 19. That's awesome. And we got Indies with a
freaking 9, dude.
Yeah, hey, it's okay. Getting the low rolls out of the way early.
You didn't care enough to roll initiative there. You guys
I guess
just
so.
I did not care enough.
Okay. And then Navra, it's a 20, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then Big Boulder. It's going to give it a roll as a -3 to Dex. So that's a 1.
Outstanding. This is what I like to see.
All right. Okay. All right, so for this first round, this will just be Fitzriley and Big Boulder for 1 round, and then we'll go into normal initiative with everyone. When it comes up to your turn, I'll kind of explain how things work, but for those of us at home that haven't played, essentially on your turn you get movement. You can move up to your speed, which is, I believe on D&D Beyond, kind of near the top of your sheet. It might say something like 30 feet. I think it is 30 feet for each of you, except for Navra, who's a monk and goes really fast.
I am one with speed.
Yes. And so 30 feet on this map, you should be able to see my ruler kind of pointing out how long that is. Each square is 5 feet. Okay.
Oh God,
You
what have
have-
I done?
You have movement, and then you have an action. And the action could be something like you could attack, you could cast a spell. And so we'll get to what each of those things are for everyone in a moment. But Fitzriley, you are up first as Big Boulder stands ready to fight. You see all the kids standing off to the side, clapping excitedly, and you also see the villagers have gathered around.
So I kind of, after spitting and rolling up my arms, I kind of cross my arms, and I'm like gonna do like that like Dragon Ball Z like power up kind of thing, as I bonus action rage. But
yeah.
because she's little and adorable, it ends up coming out like, and then she's gonna grab that axe that was in the ground and just charge on in and take a big ol' swing.
Amazing. Okay. You have to decide if you'd like to attack recklessly or not as a barbarian.
Oh yeah.
Okay, great.
That's just default,
Okay.
right? For Bria, it's just like Bria reckless attack Fitzriley is what
gosh.
they call it.
There's a reason you guys call her Fitz.
Yeah.
Of course. So I think on D&D Beyond, when you go to make your attack, you might see your hit DC under actions.
Yep, I got it.
I think you can right-click that to...
Oops.
Oh, well, no, it's fine. That 24 is already going to hit. Roll it again. But just for in the future, so you know, if you ever have advantage, you can right-click the thing you're about to roll, and you can toggle advantage on.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that 24.
We're going to go with that 24. Okay, you can roll your damage. That definitely hits. 11. Okay. As you are raging, and you charge forward, you swing. Where are you aiming on this big, bouldery elemental creature?
Great.
Well, I probably come up to his ankle.
Yeah.
Aim for the neck.
So we're gonna
Do a
try
jump
to.
if you want, I suppose.
Yeah, We're gonna get, since I'm in the anime explanations anyway, we're gonna go with silly here for this. So
Great.
we're gonna go ahead and leap and claw into the hinge of the knee.
Oh yeah.
And every time, like, if she has to like jump a little to parkour her way up there, she goes hi, 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 each
That's
way,
amazing.
and then
Like
just
a
yeah,
Wow.
hops on in there.
So as you hop on in there and you jump forward, you see big boulders in the process of swinging this slow big fist. You charge forward and you slice down towards the knee. You see a couple of like chunks of rock break off of the knee and fall to the ground. You hear all the kids are like, yeah! You see the halfling kid is like miming your actions. This young halfling boy, he's like,
And you go like, yeah, and then you go, oh, yeah, and then
and he's like
I'm
jumping.
so
He falls on the ground because he's just so immersed in what he sees happening. Anything else for your turn? I think that's
For my
about all.
free action,
sure.
I'm gonna say, when you're this small, you never get stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Amazing.
I hate puns, but we're doing this.
I love it. Big Boulder finishes this big swing for his turn and is going to try to hit you. And you see that this earth elemental looks pretty powerful, is somewhat old. The boulders also look like they've been gathered from many sources. Some of them are river rocks, some of them are moss covered. It looks like this creature has been reconstructed many, many times. And may also be slightly pulling its punches with you. But
What? No.
yeah, as it swings down, it gets a 9 to hit. Oh wait, you attacked recklessly,
It sure did.
which means it has advantage.
It does.
So that's a 10, which
My armor class is 13.
yeah.
So
As
it does
swings
not
down,
hit.
you see the cobbles of the square break apart, and also so too do some of the pebbles and rocks that make up Big Boulder's fist. You hear a dwarven sort of stonemason who's on the other side of the bridge repairing some last little bits of the bridge, looks over and says,
You're just adding more work.
and looks at all the stones that are broken. Inside Brimley's shop, Indies and Navra, you guys hear this momentous crash of rock outside, followed by
Yeah!
a bunch of kids cheering, and Brimley says,
Oh, closing up shop. I think we're being attacked. Not gonna die. And he says, out, 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 out.
and he brushes both of you outside, where you then see that Fitzriley is currently in a duel with this giant elemental, and a whole bunch of kids and several villagers have all stopped to watch.
Is it fair to say that these people don't look incredibly panicked? He's gone rogue,
Yeah,
type
see,
of thing.
they're all smiling, kind of in the middle of still setting up for the Solstice Festival, and are all like watching the show. It definitely seems like a performance rather than an attack.
So I look over at Indies and I say, do you think she would be upset if we assisted in this conflict?
I really don't care. Let's do it.
Very well. I am one with your disinterest, and I'm going to zip from here. Let's see. I can go 40. So from here. Come on, you could do it. 40.
That is enough.
Is it? Okay.
I'll say. Yeah.
So I am going to. All right. So since you said we're going to get these things back anyway, what the hell? Let's enter with a bang. So I'm going to, as I step off the stairs, I look up at Indies and I look to see, is there anyone who notices as I sort of am beginning to like jump off the stairs? Like, is any of the kids take any glance or anyone?
Yeah, you see most of the kids are assembled maybe over here and are watching Big Boulder, but you do see that one kid and her mother are kind of set up over here, and we're working on some wreaths, and she's kind of really quiet and reserved and kind of flinches as you jump down from the stairs.
And I look and I say, fear not, I follow a different path. And I sweep off my cloak, and now what you see flashing below is a full rainbow outfit. And I mean,
Amazing.
It is just like catches the sun, like it's just, and is blinding as I race across the square. And by the way, when I flip the cloak up, I do it in such a way that it catches the wind and settles neatly in the arms of the child who was looking at me and had previously flinched.
You see she looks at it, her eyes are wider than the moon.
And when I arrive, I'm going to flurry of blows this thing. So
Heck yeah.
I'm going to expend a focus point. I can't find where on here the focus points are, though. I don't know if I'm...
It might be stored under features and traits itself.
Yes, Monk's Folk. I have 2. Okay, great. All right, well, I'm going to use one of them to flurry of blows, which means I'm going to make 2, not 1, but 2 unarmed strikes.
Yeah. And in fact, actually, it's 3, because the flurry of blows itself is a bonus action for 2, and then you still have your action, which
nice.
you can use to attack.
Well, then,
so that's going to be it.
Right.
Yep, total
Okay.
of 3 attacks.
And I'm going to do so. I'm going to be careful to avoid anything close to Fitz. Because I know Fitz needs her own spot on the golem on the earth elemental rather to attack. So I'm going to flurry of blows, and let's go. That's not what we're looking for. That's an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Do I do that again, right? Because
You do that again.
Okay.
That's right.
13.
Okay, a 13 does hit. Okay, and then now you have your primary attack. You can attack unarmed, or I think you might have a quarterstaff or something. Or
Yeah,
maybe
no, we're still.
Right.
We're
Okay, then just do an unarmed strike.
22.
Oh, yeah, 22 does hit. Okay.
And I'm like,
Amazing. Now I think.
and I also try not to let anybody see that I'm slightly like as I like my knuckles. I'm like
Yeah,
Like, it's just like, it's
punching a rock. I didn't think about that.
kind of little
That's
painful.
funny. Yeah.
Fine. All good. Hey, Drew.
and it looks like the system already rolled your damage for you too. So we could just take that, I suppose.
Total of 17 bludgeoning damage between
Amazing.
those 2 attacks.
Wow. So, Indies, you watch as Navra, who you guys, all sort of arrived at this village together and have just been hanging out kind of from separate quests, separate adventures, and gotten to know each other. This is really the first time, perhaps, that each of you are seeing each other in combat and are beginning a quest together. And you see what you had thought for maybe a week or more was just this sort of quiet, soft-spoken, reserved monk with this long covering cloak instead revealed to be this prismatic omen of justice as he charges down and punches a rock and immediately goes, oh, and then punches 2 more times in places that are a bit more soft. And Big Boulder sort of groans and falls back as the rocks fall. You see all the kids go, whoa! And our view then shifts back. Now, Indies, you rolled really low for initiative. And so what this means, it's actually Fitzriley's turn again before you.
All right.
You're just like, Duna,
I really
Duna?
don't care. I'm just.
I can't wait when you do care. It's
I'm
going to be
fine
epic,
with that.
though. Like,
Let me know what
Whatever,
you do,
do your thing.
All right. So I have hand axes.
You do.
So I think what I'm going to do now, especially because I am irritated that Navra is trying to steal my thunder. So I'm raging extra hard, but I have the ability to do, where is it called? I can do, where are my attacks? I thought I had 2 weapons. Yeah, 2 weapons mastery.
Oh, you might. Yeah.
you're wielding a great sword, though, right?
Hold please.
Sorry, same team. Old habits die hard.
So what I would, oop, I knocked my ear off. I'm so into this, guys.
Wow.
So as I cleaved into him last time in my anime style with lots of background colors flashing behind me, I lift my knees, of course, so that my knees are actually over the axe.
Mhm.
So I'm actually going to make my feet make contact with the axe handle, jump off that, and pull my hand axes and double carve. I'm starting to rock climb.
Damn.
Oh, I love it. Okay, great.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, this is 2 weapon fighting. So you're going to make 2 hand axe attacks. You can go ahead.
At advantage because I'm reckless.
Exactly. 25 hits.
25 is a nat 20.
It is? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
All right,
Wow.
so let's deal with that one first, I guess.
Sure. Wow.
So
Okay.
that's
7 and 5.
yeah, 12 damage on that.
Okay.
And the second one,
Is that
I got 20.
God, oh, please.
Okay.
I'm glad I have inspired you.
Okay. Now for the... Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, great. Leaving it at... Let's see, 7. Leaving it at 3 health. Amazing. As you charge forward, I can't believe you got 2 crits in a row. That's insane.
Did you say leaving it at 3 health? I'm waiting for Indies to be like, all right, and then just obliterates this
sneeze
like
on it.
beloved mascot like
All
in
he
the
has to do is
town.
just
Like,
blow on it.
you killed Kenny.
Oh my gosh.
and
So-
my rage call is a little stronger this time. It's a little deeper. It's
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Wow.
As you jump off of your own axe blade into the air, we see the shine and glint of the sun across the blades of both hand axes, and twinkling in the eyes of all the children that are watching, their mouths agape as you swing down, and both of Big Boulder's arms, you see, are dismembered. You see the rocks fall to the sides as the arms are just sort of there, and you see Big Boulder just sort of look down at you. The rocks almost sort of magnetically begin to then reform, but much smaller and with less parts, much more air between the pieces. And you see all the kids, some of them are like, ooh, and some of them are like, yes, as this happens.
and for my free action, this is
Mhm.
going to be a trend, Zach.
Yeah.
I'm going to shout down at Navra, I'm cooler than you!
It appears so. Perhaps we should not kill their beloved guardian.
And you hear one of the kids say,
Oh, don't worry, he reconstructs all the time.
And
I kind of glance over like.
we see our view finally shifts over to a certain copper dragonborn as you stand on the stairs. It seems as though there's still one final moment of opportunity to maybe steal the show. So,
it says that I have a firebolt that has a range of 120.
yeah.
Can I just blast that thing from over here?
Heck yeah. Okay.
All right, what do I do?
So,
The hit
as
DC thing? Is that what I do?
exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right. So
I have a. Just go ahead and click it. Let's see what you got.
Clicked.
Anyway, I started blasting.
So
anyway, I started blast
two. Oh no!
Well,
oh, it hasn't come through for me yet. Oh, there it is. That's a 7. Okay, great. So now let me check. I'm not sure that there's much you can do about that before I describe it.
That's what happens when you don't care, right? You're just like,
oh dear.
Don't care if it hits either.
Yeah.
I'm just no.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry, I'm taking all the
Ooh.
good rolls, guys.
I do have one thing. So you collect flame in your hand. Now, first of all, every spellcaster has their own sort of twist on magic and what it can look like, how it manifests. So would you like your firebolt to be normal flame that collects in your palm before you throw it? Would you like it to have a different color or a different texture or quality? What do you imagine your warlock's magic looks like?
I think it actually engulfs my hand, and it's blue.
Amazing. As this blue flame collects in your hand, you then, is it sort of a throwing motion? Do you do a finger gun? How do you release that magic?
I think I say go web go.
All right. And so as you give this motion, the flame, as if propelled by the track of your index and pinky, leaves your hand completely wide, not at all on target to hit the boulder.
Spider-Man misses all the time he can.
The blue flame, you see all the kids are like, ooh, as they watch it fly by. But
it's all part of the fireworks display to them, right?
Yes.
Like they're like, oh, wow, yay.
This is perhaps a time to introduce one of the features that your particular kind of warlock has, which is the Pact of the Chain. Now,
yeah, okay.
A Pact of the Chain warlock can summon what's called a familiar. This is a creature from a sort of multiversal dimension that obeys your will, and usually takes the form of like a cat or a frog or, you know, like some benign small little critter. But a warlocks are the only sort of class that can summon these particular sort of eldritch kinds of familiars, in particular an imp, which is just a small
little cackling devil guy.
Or you could summon a small pseudo-dragon, which is this sort of like fairy-like dragon. A quasit, which is a... I'm not sure, for anyone who's played Baldur's Gate 3, there's a rather well-known quasit in that game named Shovel. But it's a small little green demon that can't fly. You can create a skeleton, a Sphinx of Wonder, which is like almost looks like a flying cat, a sprite, which is a small fairy, a venomous snake, a slad tadpole. Maybe don't summon a slad tadpole. That is a little worrying. But any of the other ones. So here's what we'll say is that as a warlock, you would have had this familiar out and ready. And it can give what's called the help action. It can actually let you roll again. And so as a narrative introduction of this creature, which of these forms do you feel like you would have summoned as your companion?
I want my little skeleton man.
Okay. All right. So at some point in your adventures leading up to this village, you have collected the employ of a skeleton. You maybe came across the long dead body of another poor adventurer, or maybe you even exhumed some poor soul's tomb. But ever since then, you've had in your company this skeleton, which as your flame goes wide and is out of order, we see appearing in frame this skeleton as it appears next to the boulder. Big Boulder kind of turns and is distracted. Give me that firebolt roll again. So go back to your actions.
Yep.
It's
Hit
literally
DC.
Skeletor.
Same button, right?
Yep, same button.
Yep.
You just need a 10 to hit at this point.
Please, for the love of God.
We'll see what you get.
Hey.
11. You
Right.
got there. Okay. So now next to that, it should say the damage, I believe, is 1d10.
Yes.
Next
So I
to
roll
DC.
the damage now?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's still coming in for me. I have a feeling. Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
Welp.
All right.
I really just
Look, you're
don't care.
getting your bad rolls out of the way early.
Yeah.
You see, as your skeleton appears to distract, Big Boulder turns in such a way that its pinky pebble is hit by the edge of your firebolt and chips off just a little bit. And you hear the kids go,
Hey, he can do magic too.
and points over at you. It's at this point that Big Boulder sort of steps back, and you see kind of stepping forward into the square, the sorceress, who kind of waves her hands and silently mimes as if to stop. And she does have a smile, but perhaps a nervous one, as she kind of waves at everyone to stop. The mayor comes in afterwards into the square, and he says, "What a show! What a show! Everyone really need to get everything ready for the festival, though. So, also, Big Boulder, can you maybe, and you see Big Boulder just bends down and rocks slowly begin to recollect. As some time passes, the mayor bids you all well, says that you should really get going as quickly as possible. We'll exit combat. Any of your resources, all of you, just to make sure everything is fully refreshed after that little bout. At the top of your sheet, there should be a button that says long rest. You can just click that to just fully refresh yourself. It'll pop up a menu asking all these options. Just click the green button to make sure the long rest goes through. And we'll say with that, unless there's anything anyone would try to do, or people want to speak to before you leave the village, we'll say that you guys head out and get ready to go.
Yeah, as we calm down from the fight, they gotta stop me and hold me back. I'm like, let me at him! Let me at him!
You have shown your power already, Bria.
I show more!
But how about against the bad ones, not the mascot of the town?
Finally, I do. Breathe.
Yes. You see the kids run up to all of you very excitedly and are asking all sorts of questions about how you got these weird powers, how your rainbow outfit is so shiny and glorious, Navra, and how to summon flames in your hands. You hear one kid kind of walks up to Indies and says,
Does it burn you? Does it hurt?
You hear another kid say,
No, dummy, it's because he's a dragon.
and as you all are here, some time passes as we cut to your journey outside of the village to try to make it to this tomb before the solstice tomorrow. Now's a good time, maybe, to check in on where we are at with donations and ArvCon itself.
Yes, thank you. I was just going to say. So, chat, you are watching us, the Arvocalists, play, except this time we're not voice acting. This time we are playing some D&D and battling, trying to destroy town mascots. And we are GM'd brilliantly, as I would have expected, by the incredible Zac Clay above me. My name's Arv. I run things around here. Below me is Rem Alternus. KP is not with us, but may or may not be able to join us depending on what the schedule looks like for them. And below is Indy, who genuinely does care in life, even if his character does not care in game. And
I really do not care.
and we are currently sitting at 528.02 to benefit Damon Runyon, which is an amazing start. I do want to encourage everyone to continue this and keep on rolling. Don't forget that by doing this, you are benefiting Damon Runyon, but also we are moving us closer towards various channel goals with giveaways and things like that. And I would love it if we could continue to move up to 600, 700, and so on. So now's the time, ! Donate. You can donate over on the Tiltify page. You can do it using PayPal. I believe it also takes Venmo. I think it might take Zelle, but it definitely takes credit cards as well. So all kinds of ones. No amount is too small. Any amount really helps, but do please help us get to our goal of 5,000. We have made excellent progress today to start, but let's keep it rolling. And also I think we have so far about 25 enhancements of rage for Bria and Serenity for Navra. So, and disinterest for Indy's character. Indy C character. So, but that's the deal. What? Oh, guess what I did? And we have gotten, wait a minute, Nonstop, I believe that is, just donated $50. Thank you, Nonstop. We're sitting at $5.78. Nonstop, a long-time viewer and supporter of this channel. Thank you so much. What did you do, Shadowed? You said, hey, guess what I did? What did you do? Thank you so much, Nonstop, for that. What did you do? Tell me true. What did you do?
Tell me true.
My rage is growing. Thank you so much.
Up to 578.02. Check your
check your Discord MDs.
Discord MDs. Hold on a second.
Spaghetti-O.
Oh wow. What is this? Oh my gosh. Okay. That's amazing. Bear with me. I have a new asset. Yeah, let me see if I can set this up. Thank you, Shadowed, for that amazing asset. And it is an amazing asset. Overlay, okay. Browse. Let me see. I'm doing this at top speed. Okay. Yes, let's move that
to see this asset.
Move that to the bottom. Okay, and then let's see. Remove this. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to have to move things around a little bit, but check that bad boy out. Dungeons and Dragons with the Arvocalists. Give me just a second while I... Nope, not that. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. All right. Let me get rid of a few things. I don't need the charity badge. I do need that. I don't need that badge because that's over there. That is shiny. It really is shiny. Let's move that over here. There's that donation. I'll move the text too. I can move the logo up. Thank you, Shadowed Mage. This is awesome. Thank you. Shadowed is responsible for a lot of the overlays that you see on the stream. And is also responsible largely for the adjustment with the badge and stuff like that. And if we were to remove the center screen, you would see that microphone back there? So we've got a full Arvocalist set, and I will make the rest of this look all nice as we do this. Thank you, Shadowed. That looks awesome and badass. So thank you to Nonstop for the donation. Thank you to Shadowed for the amazing work on that overlay. And sorry, Zach, you can keep rolling as I finish this up. That was awesome. Thank you, man.
Okay. So, the three of you and your skeleton companion in tow, you all follow the map that the mayor has given you, the Mayor Laren, and eventually do reach this unmarked tomb that he and these other adventurers had found weeks ago. As you arrive, allow me a moment to change our ambience and music.
Okay, there we go. Thanks, Shadow. Looks awesome. Just gotta fix
you all
cameras.
Arrive outside this place, this sort of overgrown, large, tall trees that creak and almost seem to, at times you think, speak. You swear you can hear what sounds like voices coming from the wood as it moves in the wind. But when you try to understand what they're saying, you realize it was just creaking wood. You see this old, overgrown entrance to this forgotten place. And as you enter inside, I will show you. I'll describe to you what you see, and then I'll bring you to the map. You enter into this place and see that it's, as the outside is, rather overgrown. There are ferns and small forest plants that are growing in the corners, spiders' webs and cobwebs that kind of cling to the ceiling. And you see resting on a kind of wooden shelf that has been added here but long rotted. That wooden shelf is. Resting on that is a old journal, which is currently closed. And you also see on the interior walls of this place an old set of carved stone murals, upon which you see the scenes of some grandiose figure standing before an army of people. I will bring you now to the map. Now, I have a fog of war enabled, so it's only going to show you parts of the map as you guys go through the dungeon. If you don't see anything, just kind of scroll around a little bit, and you should see yourselves near the top. Let me know if you do or not.
Okay.
On Roll20, this is. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes.
I can see.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. As you were to sort of turn the corner and look as well, there's this strange barrier. And here, I'm going to move this like so. There's this strange barrier as well. It seems like it might have some sort of texture or quality to it if you got closer. But from this distance, it looks like a sort of classic magical do not enter, cannot pass sort of blue shimmering barrier.
Cool. Just so you know, as you continue your description, I marched directly toward it.
Amazing. You march directly towards it. And as you do, what do the two of you do, Navra and Indies?
I think I say with some, again, quietly, but attempting to have my voice sort of carry. It might be better, Fitz, if we were to take a moment, not simply to walk towards it.
As soon as he says Fitz, I turn and shout, "My name is Riley!"
Which I assume echoes, Riley, 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 Riley. Right, yeah, like alerting everyone within a 700-mile radius. Yeah, and I sort of blink. Yes, my apologies, Riley. It might be of value for you not to walk directly towards it till we know more of what is there, as your great strength could do grievous harm to innocence without intending it. And I sort of give her a meaningful great strength. And I look over at Indy also. So I look at her and then I look over at Indy. Great strength, yes? And I sort of give him the please agree.
Oh, yeah. Yes, very, very strong you are.
And I nod. You see.
I'm appeased.
I'd say, Fitzriley, you stand before, as you're standing here before I return to the others, this barrier, as you get closer to it, you can see partially through it to the other side where I've marked this like pile of bones there. You can see the remains of someone. They are old and weathered on the other side of this barrier. And as you look at the barrier itself, you can see that there's text inscribed in the arch at the top of the stone archway there that you do not understand. It's in a language that you can't read. And
I can barely understand words in my own language.
Yeah. And the barrier itself, as you look at it, you can see it's this sort of shimmering blue light that is sort of indiscernible, but in a way that you feel like maybe if you squint or lean closer, you can see what it is.
Then I'll definitely do that.
As you do, you see the texture revealed of this barrier, this horrifying miasma of sort of groaning and screaming skulls. Give me, please, a wisdom saving throw. as this horrifying image appears in front of you.
You got it.
A 17.
Oops, I rolled it twice, but...
Oh, yeah. Either way, you steel yourself, and your instinctive reaction, I mean, you can resist it if you want, would be to lean away, but this is horrifying in a way that feels supernatural.
I whisper back to these, like, weird skulls, I've seen worse. At my level 2.
Yeah, I've seen so many things. At this point, I can assume, like, we're moving over, like,
yeah, sure.
next, I imagine. Damn it. Okay, there we go. And I guess sort of looking at the thing, is it possible to make, I'd like to make a religion check if I could. I want to see if there's any kind of religious aspect of this barrier that I might have seen within tombs or things like that within the past.
Did that thing just move?
I did it, yeah.
Okay.
It's your skeletal companion.
Oh, that's my skeletal dude. Okay, cool. All right,
I'm here.
I didn't
That
realize
thing just moved.
I thought that was something else. I was like, who's behind it?
He's like, bro.
I thought that was in character for
He's
a
like,
second.
I know.
For the...
I was like, huh? Oh yeah, you.
I care suddenly. My voice
I've been here the
changes
whole
when I
time.
care.
That's funny.
So I just
yeah,
don't
sure.
care.
Yeah, sure. Give me a religion check, we'll say.
Tremendous.
Oh, that's a 5. Yeah.
I've seen barriers, right?
You've seen barriers. Nothing really seems to kind of give you any hints here. Other than the fact, as you look around, as I mentioned before, there are kind of on each of these walls around you an intricately carved set of stone murals that are depicting in each one a soul figure that stands in front of a large army of people. Almost seems maybe depicting like a warlord addressing its army or something of that sort.
The same figure, I assume. This the same
as
one
you
in each
compare
case?
against each stone mural, you notice a flowing cloak. You see a crown upon the head, not the kind of crown that has sort of a velvet or puffed top, but rather this sort of like barren Spartan sort of gnarled metal crown, and a sword that is held out to the army. As it was mentioned too, you all did pass this journal that warned away the mayor, but you can do as you wish.
Yeah, no, I was going to go back to the journal. Go ahead, Rem.
Rem likes, is trying to figure this out, and then I'm like, stop it. Barbarian doesn't care. So I'll let Greg be the smart one.
What is I'll look at the journal. Okay. I assume it does not look trapped per se. Like, I don't know if they actually picked it up, but is it open to a single page or?
It is not open. You can give me an investigation check if you wish to determine if it is trapped. You're not sure.
Perfectly safe.
You don't see anything that would indicate it's trapped.
It's a critical fail, to be clear, Chad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm going to. One must never be afraid of knowledge, and I will open the book. I'm sure there's no problem at all. That could never be an issue.
As you crack open the cover of the book,
oh boy,
you are greeted with the deadly presence of words, and as you see them, you see the only entry, it seems, or perhaps the strongest entry, right at the front in bold lettering. And there's a note that's pasted on top before you can even begin to read the first page of the journal, which says this: would you, in Arvocalist fashion, please mind reading the text that appears here?
Okay. I am leaving this journal here to dissuade any other foolhardy folk from venturing any further. Take my knowledge as a warning.
Okay. You flip and can look at the contents of this first page. And again, in our vocalist fashion, we'll say we kind of cut to a scene where the three of you are standing and looking over the journal together. And so in our vocalist fashion, again, Rem, would you mind reading this section?
After all my years of searching, All evidence points to the conclusion that this is the crypt of the cruel and terrible Velius, the voiceless king. Legend says that at the height of his power, King Velius commanded an army of 100,000 silent warriors, each of whom had given the power of their voices to Velius to fuel his strange and ancient dark magic. When his kingdom fell, the tyrant was burned. The tyrant was buried here, and his great secrets are said to be buried with him.
And lastly, the end of the journal says this, Indy.
Now you might be thinking, a king's tomb? Secrets? Treasure perhaps? No! Traps and death. That is all what awaits you. I knew better than to continue once my adventuring companion Leona attempted to pass the first threshold. Let her remains be all the evidence you need to turn back now, before it's too late.
As you flip through the remainder of the journal, you do see that whoever this was left behind their research and essentially summarized their research for you in the paragraphs that Rem had read for us.
I love research.
This includes ways to translate the text that you see, particularly above the door. And you also notice some text in other places of the room. Above this threshold, where this sort of gleaming blue barrier, which again, if you get close to it, seems to have this horrifying, magically horrifying image in it. Inscribed in the archway right above it, it says,
"Speak, friend, and enter."
It says, "Speak, friend, and enter."
Melon.
I thought about doing that. I thought about it. I was like, can I incorporate that somehow?
The Tolkien estate instantaneously sues. Like ah!
The eldest one of a friend.
Yeah. No, it says, "Glory greets those who face their fears." You then look out and can see there's other writings on other parts of the room. Under each mural, there are few haphazard examples of these. You see one that says, "Prophecy tells what may be, not what should be." You see one that says, "Time is the greatest distance between two places." Another bit of text that says, "There is glory in death." And another bit of text that says, "The ego is the only thing too proud to forgive."
So go ahead.
Do you say these out loud as you're reading them?
Sorry.
Well, it would be whoever has the journal. Oh,
we just got a donation. It was literally as you said. Do you say this out loud? Papa! It's like when it came out next. That was great. We just got a donation of $8.98. I told you this works.
Woo!
To bring us up to $585 even. We're only $15 away from another donation tier at $600. Shadow Mage, thank you so much. We are sitting now at $585. So please continue to donate, and thank you, Shadow Mage, so much for that. So sorry, you were talking about if people saw things that were there.
You have the journal, so I was asking if, as you translated all this, if you were saying it out loud.
Yeah. Oh no, I imagine that I would be.
Okay, cool. Then I say, I'm not afraid of. Sorry, accent. I'm not afraid of anything.
And so I lay the journal down slowly, and I say, "The truth is that all of us have fears." And I walk over and stand in front of the plaque that says ego, and just look at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you look.
Does not compute.
Yeah, I know. My teaching skill is look at my obscure references, and you're like, what? I'm like, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
You look over at the plaque that says ego. You see in this particular mural that what you must now recognize to be this voiceless king that's depicted here is standing with his back to you in this mural, and his army is in front of him. And you can see far in the distance sort of these rolling plains, hills, and then eventually mountains with a cloudy sky and lightning that is striking in the distance. But
does it look flat, this mural? Does it look as if there are protrusions or things like that could be manipulated on the mural?
Give me an investigation check.
Let's see if I can actually get above the incredible crit ones I've been getting. 15. It's not terrible.
A 15. You go up to this mural and you do see that there are, the way it's been carved, there are protrusions, there are kind of gradients to the carvings on the wall. But as you search it and perhaps maybe press or see if there's any secrets in the wall itself, it doesn't seem to have any hidden compartments or anything of the sort.
So I say to everyone, if we stand in front of what are actual or previously held, I say looking at Bria, previously held fear might be, it may perhaps get us past this barrier.
What?
Stand in front of the thing that used to scare you when you were a child.
As you look around the room, everyone, again, I'll remind you, you see murals that depict different things. The only bits of text in the room is one that talks about the ego. It says the ego is the only one that's too proud to forgive. You see another sentence that says prophecy tells what may be, not what should be. Another that says time is the greatest distance between two places. And another mural that has the words, there is glory in death. But above the barrier door itself, sort of your primary focus, it seems, is the sentence, glory greets those who face their fears.
I stand in front of the prophecy one.
Okay. As they're both standing there, Fitzriley, what do you do?
Look confused between the two of them.
You see your skeletal companion Indies looks around and goes, looks at you for orders.
Riley, which are you going to stand in front of? I'll make my companion stand in front of the other one.
I choose one randomly.
Okay.
Sure.
You go up and stand in front of the one that talks about time. And
what's my dude's name again?
You get to name them.
Oh, I thought you gave it a name earlier. Okay.
I just called it Skeleton Guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's definitely Bob.
Okay, Bob. You send
You'll
Bob.
stand in front of the other one.
You see Bob walks in front of the mural that has the text, there is glory in death. And you see...
He finger guns it, right?
Yeah, he finger guns it. You watch as that mural, and only that mural, glows blue. With the same blue color as the barrier in your way. The words, there is glory in death, are highlighted in blue. And you also see above the door, the sentence, glory greets those who face their fears, is highlighted. The skeleton goes,
So we can pass now, and I start marching toward the barrier.
Yeah. Be careful when you get to
Feel like
it.
that's a dumb idea.
I don't.
Do either of you actually physically stop her? Because I think if you don't, she's gonna go.
I really don't care.
I mean,
Well, thank you and good night, everyone.
with my speed, no, I won't, because
Okay.
I'm gonna take a guess that this actually did open the barrier.
Okay, so Fitzriley,
And if not, it's a teaching moment.
You move forward to pass through the barrier.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you go to walk through, you can hear these whispers as you get closer and closer. They sound like they're coming from these skulls that are sort of like fainting and going through the barrier itself. You steel yourself and you walk forward. And as you do, immense pain washes over you as you are rejected from the barrier. Give me a Constitution saving throw. If you
got it.
Difficult-
Thank God I have a +3 to
difficulty
this.
of 12 only. Okay. So you're going to take half damage from what this would be.
Only take 30. No.
So what would have been 8 is instead 4 necrotic damage. As the very life that you have is sapped somewhat from you.
Ow, 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 owie, owie.
It appears that was not entirely successful. Okay, so the entire sentence is glowing blue, and the skeleton is still facing the mural, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But my mural is not glowing. Neither is the sentence.
Yep. Nothing on any of your other murals, and in fact, here I'll just put this
I
one right here.
I will now stand in front of the one that Riley was standing in front of.
Nothing changes.
Worth a shot.
This is right there.
There's what other sentences? Are there other ones that say glory on it?
There is no other mural that has a sentence that says glory. That's the
Should
only
we
one.
all stand in front of the same one?
Could. Yeah, that makes sense. Have all of us. Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea.
I'd prefer not to stand. I could use a bit of a sit down, actually.
The
I'll
skeleton,
come and pick
the
you
skeleton pats you on your head because you're really short, as if it'll be okay.
Okay. When I stand in front, does the blue intensify? Does it, or anything like that?
Yeah, you go and stand in front of the, in front of the barrier or in front of the
No, in front of the
mural?
glory is death. In front of that mural.
You stand in front of it. Now that you actually have eyes that can discern, now that you are the person that's looking at this, not just looking at it from afar where a skeleton's standing, you see that the highlights are even more specific, that the words glory and death in particular are highlighted more than the rest of the sentence.
Glory and death. Can we press glory, the words glory and death?
You go up and you touch the words and nothing, they don't seem to react to your touch at all.
Can you, and I'm sorry, I know you've already done this 6 million times, can you read the other lines above the murals?
Yeah, I think I put them, they're on Roll20 in their places as well.
I only see glory and death, and glory greets those who faces their fears, though.
Yeah.
All the other ones.
Well, you don't have to put, I mean, you can just tell me, like...
Yeah. Oh, well, the other ones are the ego is the only one that's too proud to forgive. Prophecy tells what may be, not what should be. Time is the greatest distance between two places.
Okay, I was thinking...
I
was thinking that maybe standing in front of the ones, like, maybe what we have to do is the lines in front of the murals you put together as, like, each of the words forms all the words eventually in the sentence, glory greets those who face their fears, but we don't have enough ones like that. It's just glory, and death is the fear, I assume. But it doesn't, that we don't even have a greets or a who, so it can't be that.
After a few moments of them trying to ponder stuff, I get bored again. Can I run at the new glowing wall?
Oh, sure. The one that says there is glory in death?
Yes.
Okay. You run at that wall, and as you do, you hit the wall. You kind of knock a plant aside, and as you do, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you kind of scratch your head.
It was a good effort.
Yes. You have uncovered, sorry about the dog in the background. You have uncovered a additional bit of text that says, to the clever do I bestow a king's gift.
Whoa. From where? Revealed from where?
Revealed from the plant that Fitzriley has sort of knocked out of the way. There's a bit
really?
more text. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So can we move more of the plants out of the way and see?
Yeah, you guys kind of dig some plants and shift them around. It seems that this is the only bit of additional text that is right here, right? Basically, this wall seems to have, these two walls seem to have something to do with each other. These are the only two walls that have glory. Obviously, this sentence is where you're trying to get past. And then at the bottom of the wall, sort of hidden in a different text, as if it was handwritten, is to the clever do I bestow a king's gift.
To the clever do I bestow a king's gift.
Bits, as you've kind of scratched your head too, you see, oh, yeah.
I think it says to the cleaver goes a king's gift, so I'm gonna get my war axe out and hit the wall.
Okay. You just kind of scrape against the wall. You carve into the mural. The stone cracks and chips away. You see the skeleton sort of flinches a little bit. Your skeletal companion, Indies, walks up to the barrier and looks at you, and then looks at the barrier, and then looks at you, and then kind of gives this shrugging motion like, should I?
Go for it, Bob. I'd like to see what happens.
Bob approaches the barrier and walks through completely unharmed.
Do the words that there's glory and death fade when he does that?
Now, as this happens, actually, no. Not only does the glowing remain, Fitz, when you walked through the wall, and as you both watched Fitz walk through the wall, you could see the barrier essentially burning her with this necrotic damage. That same reaction happens as Bob walks through, but Bob, being a skeleton, is kind of immune to, unlife damage, immune to necrotic damage.
Oh.
So he walks through that. You believe that's why he's unfazed, not because the wall decided that he was worthy, but rather that he's not affected. You see that as he passes through, there is a kind of in the same aggressive reaction that the wall has to shunt someone out. The words glory and death, you watch that sentence and you say that instead of saying there is glory in death, it says glory is death. And you see above the barrier, it says glory greets those who face their fears. And the words glory and face are brighter than all others. And so far, what has changed by Bob walking through is glory is death, and glory and face are highlighted in above the barrier.
All right, we just turn ourselves into undead, and we can cross this barrier with. Is there? I turn to Indies. Can you tell your skeletal friend to see if there is something to turn the barrier off on that side? A button, a switch, perhaps another mural.
Hey, Bob. You heard what the man said, right?
Bob
Take a look.
disappears out of sight.
Yeah, exactly. Bob's name is Gloryface. That's the answer bit. That's clearly it.
If glory and face are lit currently, is the wall... Actually, I'm just gonna ask you this normally. is the glory and death is directly opposite of the barrier? Is that what I'm seeing right here?
Yeah.
So should we not just turn and face it and then try and walk through backwards?
Yeah. Oh, backwards.
Like if I'm facing death because glory, or no, we're facing glory, right?
Yeah.
Because it says glory and death.
Yeah.
I'm now facing it because face is lit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and face that wall and walk backwards.
Homer Simpson your way back through it. Yeah.
So you Homer Simpson, that's funny. So you turn around like this and you try walking backwards through the barrier?
Yes. Facing.
Okay. Yeah, not facing the way you're going, essentially.
Yeah, yes.
You all watch as Indies passes through the barrier completely unharmed.
Oh, look at you.
Hey, it's working now, and I run through it.
No. Perhaps no.
Abra, make a Constitution save again. Okay, 12, you take half of this. Oh my gosh, I love it. You take 3 damage, necrotic.
Riley, perhaps if we should do what our companion has done. And so I face the mural and then back my way through the barrier as Indies did.
You go through unharmed.
Um,
You're like, now it'll work for sure.
well, I was thinking, I guess they saw how much pain I was in, and so they're facing their fear about walking through the barrier. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. And I'm gonna.
We do not wish to. So wait, before you do that, I say, we do not wish, my powerful friend, to lose your might and skill. Perhaps if you were to step and face backwards, and in doing so, to challenge those who would shamefully strike you from behind as you pass through the barrier.
I once heard that fighting backwards actually makes you stronger from time to time.
She takes a moment for the mental gymnastics to put together what you just said, and then she kind of like suspiciously turns and will walk backwards through the barrier.
Okay, you're able to walk through unharmed.
Her eyes are closed very tight until she hits the wall on the far end, or trips over the body. That's fine too.
That's right. Yeah, there is the skeletal remains of, as you put together, the person who left the journal talked about a Leona that tried to pass through, and
which means we should look to. Are the
yeah, I was just about to say.
Are the bones like obliterated? I can see the skeleton there, but is there? I don't want to loot the corpse, but I do want to see if there's anything.
I do.
Give me
I want to loot the corpse.
Give me a medicine check, Navra, please.
Okay.
To kind of determine what happened.
23.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Thank you guys, by the way, for being patient with me just damaging myself.
Oh no, I love it.
Great. Trust me, that's amazing.
You look down, you piece together, you see that what little remains of their flesh has completely withered away. You get the feeling that this Leona, unfortunately, was perhaps someone, if it's even possible, more foolhardy than Fitzriley, but not as strong. That perhaps similarly tried to just charge through and believe, seeing the translation of the barrier, glory greets those who face their fears, just decided to run through and was taken out in a single strike.
So I leave out the part about, if possible, even more foolhardy, and I just say, this one must have been as not as strong as you, Riley, lacking your strength. And I look at Indies and I'm kind of like, fortunate that our companion here was strong enough to manage.
She grins at you with like blood dripping from her ears at this point.
Like flaking off some withered skin.
Strong is the precise word that I would use in this scenario. Yes. Very strong.
As you each pass through, you do note that the same inscription is on this wall, and the barrier remains, insinuating that you must do the same method of exit.
Gotcha.
But as you turn, you see that Bob points at the next barrier in your way in this place.
I was just about to ask Bob what he's been doing this whole time.
I've got it this time, guys, and I'll back through it.
Wait.
Okay, you go to back through.
No.
Question is, how many barriers do we have? Can the hit point total?
We'll see. Give me another Constitution save.
I love you guys
This
so
one
much.
is different. 20. Okay. You actually pass through and reach the other side.
Just like that, guys.
With no head.
Yeah, you're dead. No, I'm just kidding. You see a written, well, you don't see this, the other two do. Written above it on the threshold, it says, "A king must be robust, a capable warrior in his own right." And you've passed through the barrier, you succeeded this save, and nothing seems to have affected you. Let me clear the map, actually. At all. You felt a certain unease of a different type than the necrotic force that was threatening you before, but you managed to just completely resist this one.
Well, I am robust. So.
As you pass through, you stumble over another corpse, but this one is much more recent.
Ooh.
You look down and see the remains of a human man. Looks maybe in his early 30s or so. He's not sort of withered or necrotized at all, although it does look like, well, yeah, you're not exactly sure how he did die. You'd have to maybe make a medicine check, but
I'd rather just search him for crap.
Okay, yeah. Give me investigation.
Cool.
Ooh.
Nat 20.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. All right.
How do you do
investigating
it?
him, yeah.
Amazing.
Investigating him, you see that he was wearing a backpack. He had a short sword on him. You pick through and you look for the good stuff, though. You do end up finding on his person a total of 16 gold and 11 silver. And aside from that, 50 feet of rope, kind of like classic adventurous trappings, like 50 feet of rope, a bedroll. He's just fully kitted out as an adventurer, and you can even tell too, this guy looks kind of green, in the sense that he was sort of new to adventuring, may not even have been a specialized kind of class yet, may not have even been a fighter or warlock or any of that stuff, was just a guy with a backpack, a shovel, and some dreams.
It takes the shovel.
It's an uplifting
Okay,
story
you have
until,
Yeah, you have the shovel.
this 30 and
Across
30
it.
moment.
So I have the axe on one side and the shovel on the other.
Hell yeah. Okay. The rest of you do what?
Well, I sort of look at the barrier and
Yeah, I'll inscribe that next sentence for you.
I think I'm going to this is generally combat oriented, but I'm going to do Step of the Wind. Actually, wait a minute. None of these are con bonuses, so this probably won't matter. But I'm actually going to... Yeah, I'm going to use Step of the Wind. Again, that's not combat-oriented. I'm thinking outside the box, I guess.
Sure.
And I'm going to try to steel myself and then pass through the barrier in the way that I saw Riley do.
Amazing. I will give you, because of your Step of the Wind, advantage on a dex save as you pass through.
Riley does step out of view because she's going to go pee in a corner real quick.
Amazing.
Okay. Saving throws. There we are. Okay. So if I right-click on this, you said... Nope. That's not it.
Should be.
It doesn't give that to me.
No.
As an...
Okay, never mind. You can just manually roll twice.
Okay.
Oh. Nat
So
20
25.
and a nat 18.
Okay. So I pass through... I Johnny
As you go
Cage
to-
it
yeah.
through the barrier.
As you pass through the barrier, there's a brief... whereas the first barrier almost seemed to have this aura and presence about it even before you touched it, this one is almost like a brief glint, a flash, almost glass-like. But where you begin to feel the start of some pain or some sort of interruption to yourself, you just quickly, with the dexterity of a monk, pass through the barrier confidently, and you're fine.
I get to the other side and I turn back to Bob, who's still standing there, and I say, "Be water, my friend." And
Bob.
wait for Bob to just...
Bob looks back at
Bob.
him. He's
Just walk through, man.
okay. Bob just walks through, and it's gonna make a save here. You see Bob, sort of as he passes through, hunches over, and doesn't look so much as he's taken damage, but rather like has been, I don't know, sapped of vitality, or is somehow slightly more exhausted or something. But then sort of like rattles his bones and stands back up straight. It seems there is some effect to this barrier, but it would take some discernment or some arcana to determine exactly what. But Navra, you're confident that you're unaffected by anything.
Can could I pitch getting an arcana check, maybe with a bonus, because I have now passed through it and felt it?
Sure. Yeah.
5. Is this magical?
It is magical.
Outstanding. All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's great.
Do I have some sort of check that I can do to verify the easy way for me to go through?
Sure, give me an Arcana check as you inspect the barrier. The higher you roll, the more you might know. Okay. You look at the barrier and also determine that it is indeed magic.
You see what I mean?
Wow.
I see exactly what you mean.
Yes.
I honestly expected a little bit more, but I guess that's what we got.
Is there anything else that I can do before I go through?
You look at the barrier. You just saw them kind of walk through. I would say
they kind of like ran through, right?
Yeah, mostly. The only other thing you could do is you do have a spell. One of your spells is called Detect Magic, and it would let you. Well, you've already discerned that this is magic, but what Detect Magic would do is let you discern the particular school of magic. After all, I'm not sure that would be too useful, because that would probably just tell you this is a barrier. It's abjuration. It's trying to keep you out. It's necromancy. It's going to hurt you. So, with that Arcana, you're not too sure.
I believe I do have mage armor that I can put on as a buff.
Yes, and I had you choose a specific kind of invocation where basically at will you can cast this spell, Mage Armor, and it will increase your armor class. Because you can do it at will, I've actually just automatically made your armor class what it would be. But I will say, actually, if you wish to cast Mage Armor as you're going through the barrier, I will let that provide you an advantage if you want.
Let's do that, and I'll pass through.
Okay, you're gonna make it's either Strength, Dexterity, or Constitution save, which I know is probably none of the ones you want to make. That's in that box in the top left where it says saving throws.
I had that a second ago. Let me double back. Here it is. Saving throws. Okay, say them one more time. Strength, Dexterity, or
Constitution.
Okay.
But you will be able to roll with advantage. So it didn't work for Greg, but you should be able to right-click your +0 or +1 and then roll with advantage.
Okay. Right-click. Roll with advantage. Okay, and then I will press roll. Oh no, it's showing behind the stuff I can't see.
Oh, okay, 15. That is what you needed, at least.
All right.
As you pass through, some effect, there's a quick flash before you. The flash that appears to you it's too quick to be discernible. You feel like you'd have to stand in this thing and perhaps subject yourself to its effects to see something, but you pass through and you're unharmed.
Beautiful.
As you all have passed through, including Bob, you can look into this greater chamber, which is lit by some manner of magical continual flame.
Great.
And
that never suggests anything wrong.
Yeah, never anything wrong. Just gonna make sure everything is suitable here. Okay,
What's wrong with flames?
I say to Indies, it is fortunate our understanding of magic enabled us to see that was a barrier.
Yeah. And you should be able to grab your tokens and move yourselves into the room where you wish.
Look at that.
You see that the murals continue in even greater fashion in this room, culminating in this large curved mural that makes up the whole south wall. You see, kind of at the center point of that south wall, a huge depiction of this voiceless king that stands with a scepter in his hand, and Fitz just charges into the water. Stands with a scepter in his hand, his cape flowing behind him, and an army standing before him. Each of these spots where there's these little skulls here are three more recent bodies of three other similar adventurers. You can loot them if you wish. But you also see that there is some sort of central altar in the room, and there's also sort of a deathly chill in the air.
So
There's
I
also
definitely
a crazy skeleton in the ground.
I definitely went to the left of the stairs when we walked in, and that's where I peed on that flame.
Okay.
And now I am wading in the water and looting the bodies.
Okay, great. You wade in the water. I suppose you go to loot this one. And we'll say as well, Indies, do you also participate in the looting of bodies?
I am looking at the one that I'm directly next to at the moment, but I'm more looking to see if there's any sort of any other journal or any sort of. I'm looking for information.
Yep. As you guys conduct the thorough search, you find some more gold, like a total of maybe 32 gold pieces between all the bodies, and roughly 18 silver pieces. More adventuring supplies, rope, a couple short swords, daggers, water skins, and so on. You do find a journal that has a few crumpled entries. There's no specifics that I have for you other than, in summation, it describes that this is a bit of a expedition being led by one Laren. Let me make sure I get his last name right. Shalebreeze, mayor of Celebrant.
Wait, where did we see that? I'm sorry, I was talking to my daughter.
That was the mayor.
Has looted a journal on one of these adventurers that says that this is an expedition being sort of forefronted by the mayor, Laren Shalebreeze.
How new does this journal look? Like how recent is this writing?
Maybe looks a few weeks old.
Didn't he say that they all ran behind him?
After the first room, perhaps our mayor is not as done with adventuring as he claimed.
And you see the last entry describes that they have entered what is this room. They describe how they have gotten past each of the same thresholds and trials that you have and how they did it. This person, whoever it was, you're looking down at this unfortunate human who's left behind. Looked like maybe it was the beginnings of an acolyte or a cleric or a priest of some sort, this man. And you see, he says, we made it into the king's tomb? Perhaps this is where his treasure lies. Laren is approaching the altar. That is the last.
Laren is approaching the altar?
The mayor, yes.
So should we just go back now and kick his ass?
Before we do so, it would be helpful if we had evidence to prove his guilt, and also if we had a way to make the sorceress sing again. She should not pay for his foolishness.
Firstly, I'd like to reread the journal and find out how they made it through the second barrier.
I believe you'll discover magic.
They documented.
Yes. Now
I would like to know.
You flip back a couple pages. You see that they investigated this at some length, particularly at the request of whoever wrote this journal. Their personality seems to be such that he insisted that they take their time. You see that within this inspection here, this person pulled on some sort of divine magic to inspect the barrier and determined that the barrier weakens one's body from being possessed, essentially. That if not for the wards that he at least tried to place on everyone, that it would have made it rather easy if there were ghosts or specters about to perhaps take control of someone.
Is there, Zach, behind there, do I see this as like a pit in the water?
You step forward to this altar, perhaps. You look down and you see this pit. As depicted, it just sort of goes down into darkness. But there in the altar in front of you, you see that there is an urn that is like it's tipped over, and you see that it would have been placed kind of in that central altar place, but it has obviously been moved or grabbed and then let go. Fitz, you go to the edge of the water. You look down. You see it's just a pit of water. And what do you want to do now?
Reenact the abyss. It appears that we have found the urn.
Is this the urn?
What is this a
I
reference
apologize
to?
unreservedly.
It's a very old speedrun thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
Speedrun joke.
How deep is the water? Like, sorry, the water that we've been standing in.
That
How
you can wade
deep is
in.
that? Yeah.
That's only about ankle deep.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Can I see from where I am if if there's anything that seems to have fallen out of the urn, dust, ashes, which I guess would be in the water anyway at this point. Although the altar's above the water, so is there anything that's out that I can see, like sort of over the edge of the urn that may have come out of it?
Yeah, definitely. With no need for a roll, you kind of look at the urn, look at its surroundings. You do see that some like gray powder, maybe like ash, has tipped out of it.
Great.
And you do see the sort of mostly covered by that ash, still somewhat inside the urn, is what looks like the beginnings of a gem, but it would need to be uncovered. It doesn't glow. It seems rather mundane, but
it would seem to me that if we are to put things right, we should set this urn back where it was. But to touch it may be to invite more of the destruction visited upon these unfortunate creatures within this chamber.
Should I light it on fire?
That would be a choice. I think...
Can support.
Also, there is enough water that perhaps the fire could cause problems. We must, I assume, do something to return this to the way it was before our mayor decided to play adventurer again. Do any of you have something that can manipulate objects without touching them?
Right before you said without touching them, she goes was ready to say I've hands.
Okay. Yeah. Do you do one of those things where you're like without like
as an aside, like as I'm looking at this, like you see the two things on fire?
Yeah.
Like the altar forms a triangle with them.
That's true.
Was there another thing on fire on top? Hold on. I'm zoomed too far in. Let me
there's one over here as well.
There's also that weird skeletal
like
snake or serpent that looks like
this
in the water.
That's the first thing that I noticed as soon as we came in.
Yeah.
I was like, this chamber don't look fun.
Yeah.
How about you
go ahead.
just scoop it all up and put it right, and if anything comes out of this hole at you, I'll hit it.
I have something, right? Like I can manipulate things.
I was
right?
just gonna say, in your kit as a spellcaster, you do have a spell called Mage Hand, which does exactly as Navra describes. It lets you essentially summon a spectral hand that you can manipulate from a distance.
Okay. So that's what I was looking for. So I can just use that at 30 feet. That's all.
Exactly. And it's the kind of spell called a cantrip, so you can do it infinitely with no resource expenditure. You can just summon this spectral hand and do stuff at a distance.
Perfect. Yeah.
I have the ability actually to command objects at will. Some might call it telekinesis, but I like to call it a mage hand.
I've heard of such things. That is impressive.
Yes, I've worked on it since yesterday. But anyway, I can pick this up if you would feel that would be a good idea.
To place it back where it came from, it appears it was tipped. Yes, But in the meantime, perhaps Riley and I could be prepared to use her language, hit whatever comes out if something goes wrong.
Sure, real quick, would you mind just standing or moving yourself to where you would like to stand in order to hit whatever may come from this scenario?
So I kind of move around to this side. Also, just as a quick note, welcome, Corehammer. And folks, we're going to be with you here for about another 20, 25 minutes or so, I would say. You are watching the awesome Zac Clay DMing an awesome adventure for the equally awesome Arvocalists of Rem Alternus, and Indy is with you. KP is not with us, unfortunately, because of a mix-up in scheduling. I am, however, with you. You all know me, Arvanella Run, and this is for ArvCon, which is to benefit the Damon Running Cancer Research Foundation. We are at 585. When we reach 600, there will be another donation level. I would very much love to start off this first day with 2.5 to 3 hours of play and get $600. That's a very good rate. $200 an hour, sign me up. So please, 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 if you have not already done so, consider donating to this cause. It will give you not only giveaway options that are to come, but also will do things to benefit cancer research. If we hit our $5,000 goal this weekend, we will reach $40,000 raised in the 10 years that we have been doing this, 11 years actually now that we've been doing this, which would be pretty special for our community. So please jump on board and donate with that link that you just saw there. Sorry, Zach.
How do I turn around, by the way? Like, can I do that myself?
I
or
think
is that
so. So
okay.
you're going to click your token, and it's kind of hard to see, but the blue outlines around it, there should be one that sticks out.
There's a little line, almost like a control mechanism, or a control line that you hold on to. And...
There you go. And then you can rotate around. Yeah, there's probably another way to do it, but that's how I do it. There might be a keybind, but anyway.
Oh, can I not stand on that thing that I keep trying to stand on?
No, you can.
It keeps moving me off from where
it's because it's grid set up, so it's just snapping to the grid.
It's gonna snap you to certain squares.
I see. Okay, got it. I was just trying to be dead center and it wasn't letting me do it.
Like,
okay.
No.
You can do that if you hold down Alt or Option and then release to where you want to go.
We're close enough here. I'm just standing in the little rubble spot here.
I'm just letting you know that the timer's ticking before I jump in this hole. So
understood.
I mean, why let them stop you? Just do it.
I'm using my mage hand now.
Okay.
To pick up
Great.
this urn, put it upright, and place it into its fitted spot.
Okay. As you pick up the urn, you see the gem is going to spill out unless you intentionally try to keep it in. So you must make a decision whether or not you... I mean, it would be also very hard to get all of the ash back in. That's probably not possible, but you have to decide whether or not, when you put this urn back, if you'd like the gem to be in the urn or if you let it spill out.
I quickly course correct and make sure that it stays in.
Okay. You place the urn on the altar. You see faint glowing begins in the mural on the walls, where you see more of these words in this ancient language that you can translate.
That's good news, right? When things start glowing?
The words only appears as the urn is placed in that way.
I'm pretty sure the words should say thank you. Exit in peace.
That is what it says. Yeah, it must be. Surely.
Is that actually what it says? I asked.
It is actually what it. No. It says thank you for replacing the urn.
Well done. Yeah.
The voice
is
back.
your treasure.
Thank you for supporting the easiest escape room.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, and by the way, just like any escape room, the hardest part was the first puzzle that you guys had.
100%. Yeah.
Every escape room I've ever been in, you get in, you're like, we're useless. And then you finally, you're like, oh. Yeah.
When Zach was out here, he and I played with my son one of these, and it was exactly that way. We're just useless. We got to the second one, we wrecked the second room in like 10 minutes, but the first one was like an hour and 20. Like, what are we doing? Anyway,
we were in there for 3/4 of the time. You see, describes more of the legacy, essentially, of this voiceless king, saying that he was so artful with his power and in the ways of manipulating sound and speech that he could change the voices of others, or even silence them completely, or steal their voices. And it's at this point that a great coldness grows within the room.
Oh boy.
And appearing behind all of you, you see a worried-looking human man that, Indies, you recognize as the body of the priest whose journal you had been reading. And his ghostly form appears behind you, as he says to all of you with this spectral lilt to his voice.
It's too late. He escaped.
And the ghost floats over towards each of you and says,
Why are you here? To die like us?
I'm gonna go kill that mayor because I'm pretty sure it's the bad guy.
Do you say that?
I did, just to him.
The ghost nods his head and says,
I feared that may be what have happened. As we entered, he approached the altar.
And the ghost walks over, or floats, I should say. And as it reaches its hand into the urn, you see it passes through and then lifts out, as if it can't manipulate the urn, but the gem floats in its hand. This mundane looking, almost like onyx that it holds. And he says,
This was glowing with a great purple energy. And we were gone, like that. The last I saw, the mayor walked out as if nothing had happened. Aside from the fact that he seemed to be walking strangely. As if he was a stranger in his own body.
Oh, he got possessed by the bad guy.
Uh-huh. Yep.
The voiceless king is in our mayor. Awesome. That's great.
That's why I said it.
the priest looks over at you. Yes.
Oh, I don't hear any of this. I'm in the hole.
Oh, okay. You dive into the hole. Heck yeah.
I'm like,
As Fitzriley.
have you seen Riley?
Now,
we look at each other.
remind me.
We don't even know that happened. We're looking at the ghost.
Yeah,
as far
you
as we
guys-
know, you're
it was
like, I'm
so
out.
quiet.
Peace.
It was
Like,
one of those Olympic dives that enters the
It's
pool
just
so
like-
fluidly that there's no sound.
Oh, God.
Fitz, can you remind me? Look at on your sheet in your senses. I don't remember if halflings have dark vision or not, because that's going to be pretty relevant. It's pretty dark in this pit.
My senses.
It would be it's a
You
box.
can borrow
on the left
mine if you
side.
need it.
Oh, I see it.
It should list your
Send
passive
Bob
perception.
down.
Should list your passive perception, but if it only says that, it means you don't have dark vision.
I have blind sight. Oh wait, no, it's just giving it instructions.
Oh yeah, no. If you find this box that says senses,
Oh, okay.
it should say passive perception, investigation, insight. If it doesn't say anything else, you have no
Nope.
other. Okay, then yeah, you can't see. But you can feel. Yes. Please make.
I know what treasure feels like.
Yeah. I'll give you your choice of perception or investigation, but you're going to have disadvantage because you can't see.
We'll go with perception.
Okay.
And just as we do that, Mrs. Dunsel has donated, welcome Mrs. Dunsel, $15 to bring us to $600. Outstanding. Thank you, Mrs. Dunsel. Welcome, welcome. Happy ArvCon. And $600, everybody. Awesome.
Amazing.
Let's go. I love it. Thank you so much. Let's keep that rolling. Thank you, Mrs. Dunsel. And that means another giveaway, I believe, for the tireless mods.
Very nice.
600 out of 5,000. Only
Thank you, mods.
4,400 away.
Okay.
Oh, I need to.
I'd
roll
say we're already halfway there.
Perception.
There we go.
There it is.
There it is. Fitz, you explore around with your hands as you're underwater, feeling against the walls. Do you feel not really much against the walls here? Do you just keep swimming down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
As you swim down, eventually maybe 20 feet down or so, or 20 feet deep, you reach a bottom of this pit that very clearly, even with a 5, 5 is pretty low. You there are many objects down here actually. They feel maybe a bit like the handles of blades or of swords, the hilts, if you would. You feel what seems maybe like a large like ball bearing, or more the size of a bowling ball actually. This big like spherical object that you can have. But yeah, it just seems like a bunch of like thin handles down here, and oddly
So I
shaped
think
things you can grab.
What I'm gonna do is like human claw machine.
I love it. Amazing.
So I'm gonna like belly flop on all this stuff and like curl in on it and then push up and see what I can carry to the surface.
Amazing. Okay, you swim back up. You are not otherwise disturbed. It seems there's no other little creatures that swim here or make this place home. There is some algae and some detritus and stuff that grows. You all see the ghost that has appeared to speak with you flinch as Fitzriley makes surface in the water, carrying an entire armful of bones. As you make surface, there is in your arms femurs and skulls and all sorts of bones. However, some of them were still wearing or carrying their belongings, it seems, in sacrifice in this chamber. And so you carry up also a good sum of what is roughly kind of like in between all the bone pieces. You see starting to float back down hundreds of gold pieces as you are in this space. And also, go ahead and roll a D100 for me to finish up.
Oh, wow.
D100, all right.
The ever so elusive.
It says to finish up, like I'm not going to dive back down there.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Do that.
I mean,
roll 20.
I sort of, you're rolling the one. I'm sort of say to the ghost, I'm like, if that was your
I know,
body,
I think those were there before. No, mine's over there.
He points at his body.
All right. We have, of
I got
course,
your gold too, don't worry.
Okay, what did you roll, Rem?
A 62.
A 62. Okay. You are able to, as you kind of swim around before a lot of the objects float back down in this moment, you are also able to grab this interesting token that's in the shape of a feather. It's a beautiful, like, silver brooch that has feathers sticking out of it. And as you grab and hold it and shift it in your hands, it gleams with magic.
Ooh.
You're not sure exactly what this is yet, but if you take a short rest with it, you can maybe determine what kind of magic item it is.
And how much gold did not fall back in the pit?
Give me acrobatics. As you 6. Okay. You're
in the water.
You saved 5.
Yeah, maybe not 5, but you're only able to get, we'll say, double what you roll, so 12 gold pieces.
Okay.
The ghost speaks as Fitz. Do you go back down?
As the ghost starts speaking, I'll dive
Yeah,
back.
that's okay. So as Fitz goes back down, the ghost says, "No, I'm loving this personally." The ghost says,
If I cannot leave this place, it is cursed with this king's presence, or lack thereof. If he has possessed the mayor, you must stop him. Or I am not sure of the passage of time, but I know that the solstice approached in the coming weeks. It is a time not only of song and joy, but of great magical potential. I do not wish to know what this king would do with that moment, with a living body at his command.
We, if we are to stop him, must have evidence to expose him. The mayor is respected by the town, and if we are to prove that he has been possessed, there must be evidence to demonstrate it.
The ghost floats over to his body and says,
You eluded me.
he looks back at each of you.
That
but
would
then-
be our companion who is currently fishing for dollars.
And you see his face kind of returns to normal, and he goes through and in a sort of hidden pocket in his robe, he fishes out. It seems unlike Well, actually, no. It would be a magic item, so he's actually able to carry it in a strange way. A scroll, and says, "I was a priest, or at least trying to be. This protects one from evil and good. Though in this case, if you were to cast it upon him, I have hope it would shunt the ghost from his body."
Would he be driven back here, or would he seek another body to occupy?
I do not know the workings of ghosts much.
I look at him pointedly.
Yeah, he says, "Point taken. I don't know. Perhaps he would have to wait for some time before searching again. I don't know the limits of such a thing."
Do we think the gem could the gem have contained the king's soul? If we take the gem,
It's a
right?
soul gem.
It's a soul gem. If we take the gem, I'm thinking two things. One, we take the urn with the gem in it, or the second option is this mundane, not gem. Right. If we cast this thing on it, perhaps the ghost gets driven back into the gem. We book it back here, put it in the urn, right? And, then we leave and nuke this whole tomb from orbit because it's the only way to be sure.
Before we leave, didn't you say that there were words that showed up on the walls?
Yeah.
I'd like to read some of those if possible.
Right. They were what I had described. There's none in the specific. What they do is describe essentially the powers and the legacy of the king himself. Notably, the power that he has over sound and voices.
Okay.
It says specifically, as you kind of read the text that lines the curved walls, that he was so artful with his powers, he could manipulate the voices of others, silence them, or even steal them.
Right.
And
there was nothing more besides that.
I suppose not. Nothing of relevance. If I had to add anything, it would be that his sort of the same mentionings that were made in the journal left at the entrance, that he stands before his army of 100,000 silent warriors. But it seems that the main pertinent information is his power over voices.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
So I guess the question is whether we take the gem or not.
Fitz, you return back to the up again.
I wondered about the whole breathing underwater thing. Yes, that's kind of
Fitz has enough constitution, and the pit is shallow enough that we don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Make another acrobatics check.
You got it.
And 3. Yeah, you don't get much. You don't get much gold this time. You only get 6 more gold.
That's a nat 1, by the way.
Damn it!
Oh god! Of the 2 magic items that one can find in this pit, roll another d1.
Thank you to Oldham Aaron. I can't quite read that for the $10 donation. Thank you. That brings us up to $810. I love it. Keep it going.
Amazing.
I rolled 610.
59.
Sorry, not 810.
59. Okay. You pull up a very thin vial that still has stoppered liquid within it. This is a potion of some sort. It's not the red sort of blood color that you'd expect from a potion of healing, but rather a roll a d10 for me, actually.
1.
Well, it has a sort of green acidic color, this thing, but it's in such a vial that it doesn't look like it's meant to be coated on something. It does look like it's supposed to be imbibed. It should be drunk.
All right, Riley continues to get these cool things from down here, and I can actually see. I'm gonna take a quick dive.
All right. Okay.
We montage out of the pit diving.
I'm gonna say we're gonna do that. We montage out of the pit diving.
We'll collect all of our treasure from you later, Zach.
Yes. As you guys dive through, we'll say before you each.
I'm not saying your gold.
Yes. With a combination of Navra's insistence that perhaps you shouldn't spend so much time here, and your own exhaustion from swimming so much, you all get, we'll say, a total sum of let me roll this. $1 million. That total amount of gold, which I will let you sum together, not me.
Or what? And no more magic items?
No more magic items.
Gosh darn it! That's all I wanted is to see it.
I know.
174 total gold.
All
Looks
right,
like.
Cool.
Great. The ghost says,
Please, when is this solstice? How much time has passed?
It begins tomorrow morning.
you see the ghost charges forward towards you. Its visage almost for a moment resembles the fearful, horrifying barrier that first stopped you in this place, but then quickly returns to some semblance of composure. And the ghost says,
Tomorrow, you must stop him.
We will. We will bring the gem with us, and we will use your scroll with thanks. With love.
Sorry, what are we doing?
Stop him. You must stop him.
We must.
You must.
So I turn and I say, as you have heard, we must stop him, the voiceless king, from ending the solstice. And that means we must stop the mayor by using a scroll before hitting him. I say with my eyes wide looking at Fitzriley.
Scroll, then hit.
At that moment,
Got it.
I pull up my hand. It lights on fire. And I say,
all right. I kind of care now.
Oh,
Inspiration all around.
Character development.
Everyone is inspiration.
You know what?
Woo!
Hell yeah. Let's say that's going to award you a heroic inspiration.
Let's
I
go.
very much paid to use this. That should be a slot near the top of your sheet, Indy.
uh-huh.
That
I
you
saw
can
it a
click
second
in.
ago. Hold on. Let me
Yep.
go back to
Called heroic
that.
inspiration. That gives you a re-roll on a future roll of your choice.
Oh,
I think
cool.
it's near the... Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Okay. So, having determined perhaps what happened in this place, and what may have happened with the mayor, you all go to return to the village of Silibrim. Now, this journey took you... He described it as such that you would go, you would find a camp, you'd make your way to the tomb, and then if you did your business, you perhaps would make it back in the solstice day. And this is still true. You, as going as fast as you possibly could, would arrive back in Silibrim at the dawn of the solstice.
Okay.
And we will return to Silibrim and see sort of the beginning of this as we prepare to conclude. So, I'll change our music as well. Let's see.
I'm good to go for another 7 hours if you guys are.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But let's see. Let's get. Oh yeah. I have these tracks. It does feel good sometimes too. A while ago, long while ago, Zach in the past bought. There are some amazing audio designers out there who have pre-written and pre-made tracks that you can buy. Indy's familiar with this. I forget the name of any of these. Escape my mind right now, but there's all these sound studios where you can buy licensed music that you can use for anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought these were specifically designed for tabletop, and so it just feels extra satisfying when I'm like, I can use this.
They're
This
really
is
nice.
It's what it's made for.
Yeah, and we've had a chance to use some
nice.
Green Forge Studios is stuff that I bought
Exactly.
that they made that they licensed on my channel and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love doing that. And Kevin MacLeod, who has 800 literally songs all sorted by whatever by type and style, all of which are as long with attribution allowed to be used. That guy is amazing. And did you know that he lives in Wisconsin? Our very own John Helfers, who Rem knows, of course, and Zach too, has met and talked to him and had lunch with him and that kind of thing.
Wow.
So yeah, and his music is everywhere, related
Yeah.
to D&D, Critical Role everywhere. Anyway. And
great.
just one before you get started with this sort of concluding section.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with Rem. I'll go for however long. But given the fact that we want to go not for too long, much longer, probably to not be exhausted. Chat, don't forget, we are sitting at 810. Can we get up to 900 or even 1,000 by the end of the night and get us a fifth of the way there? That would be sweet. Please do consider supporting our cause, Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. Our goal is 5,000. If we hit it, we will have raised $40,000 in the 11-year history of the event, which would be pretty amazing. Plus, it opens up all of these other avenues for these giveaways and sort of things that we have. Not to mention, the top donors, remember, get a couple of these prizes, including these spectacular metal transferred photographs that I have here, and even prize packs from Catalyst and myself in terms of books and board games and things like that. So, please consider doing that with some donations tonight with !donate would be lovely. Sorry, Zach, on you go.
Amazing. You all race back to the village, the town of Celebrimm, to find it,
destroyed.
First,
yeah,
it's completely gone.
Okay.
As you are on the path, the final road into the city, the exterior gates, you see and find that many of the doors are shuttered, closed.
Oh boy.
That there are, there's no sign of people out in the streets.
Where's the big boulder?
As you're walking along, you see no sign of Big Boulder at the moment, but you're not near the center of town where you were before. As you all approach, everyone give me a perception check, please. So that's one of the skills in that tall column there, Indy.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent my good rolls, guys. I nat one to this one too.
Come on, guys.
I have no idea. It's up to
Look
you.
at my shiny treasure, guys.
You said you cared. You could do it, Indies.
I can't see what it is, but
we'll see.
Yeah, 16. Yay! That's got to be better than 2 and 4.
You're here. There's a slight fog that's beginning as well. That was not here before. It seems almost supernatural. Indies, as you enter the space, you hear the quiet, muffled footfalls of small feet as you see the edge of one of the children rushing into one of the homes and the quiet sound of a door creaking closed. You see, though, as you continue to look, now that you know what to look for, you then see only a few seconds later, 2 little eyes peering curiously from behind one of the blinded windows, looking at you.
Can I approach the door and knock?
You see, as you approach, the head kind of ducks down. You knock on the door, and there's no response.
I knock a little bit harder.
As you knock a little bit harder, you hear a small voice, the halfling that was really excited and thrilled by Fitzriley's fighting, speaks from the other side and says,
"We can't come out. It's dangerous. Something's wrong happening."
You hear from the other side, shh, shh, a voice that's a little bit higher up in the door, a bit deeper.
So I come over and I'd say, you saw us before. We can help. What has happened?
Okay. I'd like you to make a persuasion check, Navra. Please.
I want to also just reveal a little bit of the rainbow part as I do that. Does that help?
I will say that it lowers the DC.
Okay.
We'll say you needed 10.
Would it be
Great.
an assist if behind him he's trying to be all persuasive and stuff, and I just get the axe ready to take the door?
Maybe not.
Disadvantage to your check randomly.
Perhaps, luckily, such that you don't have to do this.
Okay.
The door creaks open ever so slightly, and you see the you expect to see kind of a taller head and a much shorter one, but you see that these are both halflings, a halfling father and his daughter, who only stand, the daughter maybe 2 feet tall, the father 3. and he looks up at you. You recognized him maybe as one of the villagers who was doing the banners before you guys left.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, something's gone horribly wrong. There was a shudder from the center of the town, and there are people still there. It was the mayor. He went towards the anvil, and some bright flash happened, and it's just so quiet. It was so quiet. We just ran and hid. Boulder is... And you hear the halfling girl, Boulder, as she starts to sob, and he sort of pats her and says, Boulder's... He's in the river. He tried to come back, but there was another flash from the anvil, and we don't know what to do. There's only a few of us that aren't in that central area, and those that were there when that happened, they haven't run back.
How isolated is this village? Are there any other villages nearby?
You think that the nearest town is probably half a day away, maybe, half a day's travel.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I'm already headed toward town, center of town.
Okay, Fitz is walking up.
Yeah, I mean that's more or less what I would do anyway. I would just sort of say like, close your door, and stay inside. We'll do what we can. And then I turn to Indies and I say, for once, I think Fitzriley is correct. We need to move.
Let's do it.
So
Character growth. They've come to accept that I'm always right.
Yeah.
That is an interesting version of
and
character
look,
growth.
we learned this in the last Arvocalists. Remember, Rem is always right. Okay?
Yeah. This is the player knowledge sort of bleeding into the character work. But
yes.
All right, so we book it towards the center of town, I would assume.
Right. As you run forward, you with Fitzriley sort of leading the way, you get to the bridge where you see in the river that was there assembled a large boulder and then several smaller ones that are just sort of lying there. They are sort of vibrating in the water, but as you pass and go to cross over into the bridge, this weird wave of silence comes over. You take a step forward and your boot makes no sound. Then it becomes muffled and quiet. The fog is also growing in this place, and it's there that you see, floating above the anvil in this town, this strange specter. It is floating over the body of the mayor, who is sort of almost as if the anvil is an altar. They're catatonic, but you still see a faint wisp, a line that connects him to his body. It seems perhaps this wraith is still possessing the body, but is outside of it to have more power. It looks across at each of you, and as it speaks, the voice does not come from its mouth and through the air towards you, but rather the fog around you is carrying its voice, as it says,
You're all supposed to be dead. Did you outsmart my tomb, then?
I assume no one else is around, by the way, besides...
You look around, and you do see that there's just sort of... everything's kind of grayscale with the fog here. The banners that were hung up, the lanterns and things such as that. And you do see, that if there are people around, there are no bodies, there's no evidence such as that. I know what you're going to do, Fitz. People probably have shuttered themselves in, or something to that effect. Yes, Fitz.
So as we were marching toward town, toward the center of town, I was telling myself, scroll then axe, scroll then axe, scroll then axe. But now that I'm silenced, I assume, because we're in that thing, I cannot no longer remind myself of this. So I'm going to go ahead and rage and attack the ghost.
Amazing. As you are striding forward, the wraith says,
No matter. I bought myself enough time with your pointless quest.
And he says,
I will not be
As Fitz, you charge forward. Give me an attack roll with your axe with advantage. 24 hits.
Damn.
Okay, please roll your damage for me. 5 points of damage. As you charge forward with your axe, you slice into the wraith and then kind of land on the other side. You see as you slice forward that the body of the mayor sort of shudders on the anvil as if you have also struck him somehow. It's sort of like almost like when you take defibrillators and try to charge someone up.
And we would see that, right? Like
you see that as well.
Okay.
And the wraith shudders and looks across at each of you and says,
It has been some time since I've had to contend with fools. Let us see, then, how you face the voiceless king.
And that, I think, is where we would have to pick up, perhaps, another Arvocalist D&D, because I'm going to say, this has been, there were multiple moments through this session as things are going late where I was like, I could cut this to get to what we need to do. I could cut that to get what we need to do, but I was enjoying this so much and I didn't want to rush anything. And it was just so wonderful. But I know for a fact, having the experience that I do and already going over time, the moment we enter combat, we're going to be here for at least another hour, which I do not want to do to any of us. So I think, if anything, we had a pretty nice combat in the start with Boulder. We had some flashy stuff. Went off to the tomb, did some puzzling, did some exploration, did some RP. And if this means we just have to play D&D another time and give our audience something to look forward to, then I think maybe that's it. If that's okay with you, Arv.
I'm leaving that up to the wonderful people here who have, jumped on board with me. I mean, it's up to what these folks want to do.
I am genuinely good with either option.
What, continuing now or coming back to it?
I guess those are the options, yeah.
I'm good with either too. Like I'm having so much fun. I'm here as late as you guys want to be, but respectful to everyone else's sense of energy and time.
I think that genuinely that question falls to you, Greg, just in terms of because this is on
Zach.
your stream currently and all that kind of stuff.
I'm also good.
No, Zach, Zach's not. Just,
okay.
No. I'm just kidding. Please.
Yeah, Zach's not relevant. Okay, let's just talk about it.
If it gives us another session to do our Arvocalist D&D, and I suppose I should mention too an opportunity if we can get KP to come in, to do this. You know what I mean. So if anything, my vote is I think we should let's let being conservative with it be the better part of valor. That's not how the quote goes, but you know what I mean. That's what I would do.
It's basically the same quote.
I mean, if we do it that way, then it means that it means in June we would do that, and then in July we would come back. Well, either we would do two sessions, as Triff had said, one in June, one in July, like a bonus session, or we would do it in June, and then in July we would pick up with Citizen Sleeper 2 again. So I'm fine with that. I mean, I will say that since there are 30 hours plus that we're looking at, for the rest of the weekend. Okay. I mean, if that's the vote, then I would say, as long as Rem and Indy are cool with playing I do not want this not to finish, just to be clear in the end.
Oh yeah.
So is that fair? Like that we are going to.
So is it actually just, I don't know if this is too spoiling or whatever, but like, is this just the final battle? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But combat takes a long time, in my experience.
Yeah, so I'm good either way.
And if we do another session just with the combat, then it doesn't even have to be a full session. Or if we want to sit and play for a little bit, it could just be a for fun thing, And as we finish the combat out, we can do some role play to. I was going to say
expand it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if we're willing to keep it going, if we're willing to finish the adventure the next time, then I'm cool with us, having done the party wins. No. I want to actually, I want us to win the right way. So let's do that then. We will reconvene on this in June. But in the meantime, we will get to have had an awesome sort of opening segment of ArvCon for this too. So, very, very cool. And, of course, brilliant work, Zach. I'll let, starting at bottom, Indy, and then we'll work up. And when we get to me, I'll talk about how awesome Zach is. But what do you think, Indy? First time, first of all, just a little bit of applause for Indy. Great first work on the...
great first, and the character establishing, I don't care.
I actually kind of care. I was like, let's go!
Welcome to D&D. That was great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think being able to get awarded a heroic inspiration first time through felt good.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is great. I will. You've convinced me. I see.
Told you.
I see the line. I see it. The line. I have visual. So yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Thank you, Zach, for creating this. Thank you, Dred, for having us on, and of course, Rem, thank you for being a wonderful player. I don't know what the proper way to say that, but yeah, that is a lot of fun.
I don't know if you could tell, but I enjoy myself when I play.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I didn't get that vibe at all. No, it was wonderful. I genuinely, you're the all of the. Oh, by the way, as this was happening, I'm already gone. That was wonderful.
Oh God, the part of being in the water, and I'm like, how is she? It's just gonna do? Is she breathing or whatever? And I'm just like, all right, well. Because you and I are all just like, I understand the secrecy. Well, I know the depth and realms. I'm gonna dive and find loot down there. Anyway, but it was great, Andy. You did great, and of course we will see you. When will we see you next, sir?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it'll show up on the screen. Nope, it's invisible. Oh, there.
I see it. Yeah. Yeah, concert. Let's go.
Amazing.
Yep. 8:15 tomorrow, folks, or I should say Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern to 9:15 Eastern. We are going to get a full, glorious hour indie concert. It's going to be tremendous. So thank you. Seriously, Indy, it was great. And yes, my cutting plan was that not only you get a chance to play, but then it's like, oh, yeah, this is all right. I can see why people have fun playing this. Just really? How much fun do you say? So anyway, but it was great. And I really did enjoy. It was true that was a legit character arc. It was so funny. I'm like it was like Aragorn at the gates type of speech coming from your character. So, oh man, that was great. So thank you, Andy. Great stuff. And we will see KP back here. There was a schedule mix up, and it happens. And KP should, hopefully, we will try to strongly convince him. Please make sure that you're here to play with us this next time. So, but you should check stuff out. KP just announced on his socials about being part of this regular sort of coordinator of this big LARP that he was doing, including photographing as a part of it, which is really cool. So, congratulations to KP about that. But but I'm excited to have him back in. And then we had Rem, who, as you say, was having a lot of fun with this. I love the idea that we were all, at the end, it was all like the care and feeding of how we get Fitzriley to recognize if I do this, then yes, I too will, for completely different reasons. Like, obviously, I am not affected by this. I will just wander back through this barrier over and over again. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch Fitzriley do all that kind of stuff. And also, kick ass. I mean, just, every time, just, crush, cleave, all this stuff. It's like, all right, that sounds good to me.
Until I do anything non-physical, and then it's...
Well, yeah, there were, yes, some of that.
50 nat 20s,
Oh, God, the freaking nat 20s.
And then I got double nat 1s.
You said... Yeah.
True luck. That's just insane.
Well, it's one thing you'll find out too about it as you play more indie is that it really does even out. It's astonishing, but it really does even out over time. Sometimes at the worst times. Anyway, Rem, how did you feel? I got a kind of sense it was not too bad, but how did you feel about today and all that stuff?
2025 has been hard. I was telling some of you guys, and I don't get to play much anymore. And when I do play, it's GMing, and so I tend to play wizards and smart characters anyway. And I was just thinking when we were talking to Indy a second ago that I'm used to playing the characters that have to manage the chaos the chaotic ones, and it felt really good to be the one that was managed this time. So thank you for letting me be dumb and impulsive and silly and like I really enjoyed this. I loved seeing Indy light up, and like it was a source of pride every time I made Indy laugh real hard. I'm like, yeah, get into it. Love
Dude, you didn't even have to try, man. You just did it.
So I adored this. Zach, your descriptions were wonderful, powerful. I wish my character was there to actually acknowledge and meet some of the like the character with the red beard and stuff like that. And but that was just a blast. And Greg, so fun to play with you. I did not expect the reveal of what was underneath. So that was super cool. And
prismatic, baby.
That prismatic omen that you described, by the way, Zach, was pretty baller. That thing is literally pulled out from, I don't know if anyone knows the underrated film League of Extraordinary Gentlemen based on the Alan Moore thing. I always thought that movie was better than people gave it credit for, but there's a scene where they have this big battle in the library, and Captain Nemo, like these guys with guns come running at him, and he's like, I follow a different path. And then he just kicks ass with this scimitar. And that has always stuck with me, so I wanted to do a little minor, slight homage to that. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, I just loved it, and I'm here for more of it, so. It was great.
Definitely down for more of this.
Awesome. Badass. That was great. Thank you, Rem. And I good. I'm glad someone did, Trivet. I did too. Prismatic Omen of Justice was the best. Zach, I'll let you sort of finish off with this before I wrap up once I let you all go. But yeah, it was a great pleasure to have you. I've been, you and I have been chatting, DMing, and GMing stuff for a long time on our show, Gen GMs, which you should all check out. So I obviously know about that, and I've watched you GMing for Critical Role, and I've seen those other sorts of things, but it was a pleasure seeing your ability in description, and also an Arvocalist themed adventure, like straight up. It literally was voicing and voice and what matters and how you can actually hear yourself being. That was it wasn't that it was subtle that no one could notice it, but it almost was so well put together that you almost don't recognize how much that becomes a part of the fabric of this. So that was beautifully done. Wonderful descriptions. And genuinely, I was like, F this mayor, man. Like, but I mean, I understand he was possessed, fine. But still, he should never have been in there in the first place, So you did a good job making us kind of be like, what the frick? So
if you ever need a player, just ask.
Yeah, it was great. So, Zach, how do you feel about everything tonight and all that kind of good stuff? And where will the lovely folks see you next?
Well, there's this saying in Magic the Gathering, and I'm sure in many other those of us that play card games, I know myself, Indy included, that there is and I think I've talked about this actually on Gen GMs, that there is the deck builder and then the deck player. That you are, and they often are two different people. You are sitting there with all your cards in front of you as you're building your deck of cards and putting together your synergies, and like, this is going to be so great, and when I get this is going to happen, to do that, and then you actually sit down, you play in a pod of people, and you're like, this is terrible. This is not at all what I imagined. So as to say that the prepper of this session, I came up with this from scratch, essentially trying to do something with voices and with something sort of lighthearted, like having a festival going on, but then still with a little bit of a dungeon crawl and then puzzles. And so I threw this together, and as always, the hardest thing to estimate is time. And the me in the GM seat tonight was like, I just want to let things breathe. There were multiple moments where I was just like, okay, if I really want to finish everything, I can just cut this part out, cut this out. I could just go with a classic ending, like the voiceless king is at the end of the crypt and you guys just have to kill him. But at a certain point I was like, okay, I think the idea of us continuing could work, so I'm gonna let this breathe a little bit. And I'm glad that I did, and sorry for what it's worth for it going over, but no, I had an amazing time, and it was just so great seeing you guys embody your characters, and yeah, for all the grace and poise that I might seem to have as a DM in the seat, and that I do have, admittedly, in my head is a little hamster going,
oh, okay, do this. Okay, this is taking too long, and then I can put it.
So yes, as the hamster in my head goes and finishes out, I'm really excited. The boss battle with this wraith, the voiceless king, there were very subtle homages to voices and voice acting and stuff like that, but the boss fight itself has the spiciest and funnest parts of that. So I look forward to that. Hopefully getting KP involved as a little, finishing this out as a little special second addition to this session. So had a great time. People will find me here also tomorrow, not as part of the concert, but as part of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, the campaign that Greg has GM'd for us for quite a bit now. That is both D&D and sci-fi Espergenesis crossover. We're just about to enter a sci-fi ship that crashed on a fantasy world.
Yep. And
we are going to investigate it. It is D&D, but our characters are investigating this sort of union of both fantasy and sci-fi in this way. So we literally take our first steps on the ship tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that'll be very cool. And otherwise, you'll find me on social media. I rarely post or have posted up until now, but with the recent release of Critical Role's Daggerheart system, which is sort of an equivalent to D&D, I unboxed it and got a reaction from my local middle school D&D club students. And Critical Role itself has retweeted, as well as several members of the Critical Role team, their reactions. And it's just so sweet and wholesome seeing these kids looking at the unboxing of a tabletop RPG and all the stuff that they're excited by about it. And it's exactly that reason why I volunteer and help out at these places, to see that young imagination and joy and creativity kind of sparked. So that all to say, I hope to be posting more stuff of my programs that I work with, but also my own GMing stuff this summer. I have a lot of plans to do that. And also, of course, that involves Gen GMs, the podcast that Greg and I do together about GMing. And that's it for me. Until next time.
Good stuff, Zac. Thank you. And again, to the Arvocalists as a whole, again, my just deepest gratitude and appreciation for you giving up Friday nights to do this, and for starting us off so well. $610 to start at is very nice out of the gate, especially since we don't usually stream on Fridays, and so that's a very good opening salvo. Yeah. So very happy about that. Also, it means that the Arvocalists have taken the lead in the all-important who earned the most money battle, and so we'll see how that continues. 7 Raiders from Rolled and Misadventures have joined. Well, that I appreciate the fact that they're joining us. That's great. I'll be able to talk up this charity. So I'll say, first of all, thank you, Raiders. Thank you, Rolled and Misadventures, for this raid. We are just wrapping up for the night, but don't leave. I'll talk about the charity. I'm going to let these folks go, though. But you will see more from the Arvocalists next month. Either 2 sessions, D&D and voice, or just D&D, but we'll definitely get the D&D done next month. And you'll get a chance to see what happens next with all of these awesome people. So thank you so much to Rem Alternas. Thank you so much to Indy. Thank you to KP. Hope everything went okay, and we will see you back here next month. Thanks for the follow. And thank you so much, of course, to Zac Clay, our wonderful DM, for tonight. Great job, Zac, on this adventure. It really was. And I will see Zac tomorrow for Expedition. I will see Indy tomorrow night for the concert. And Rem, I will see you next month for more stuff relating to this D&D thing here. So that's the idea.
Awesome. Thank
you, everybody. Check. We get some love for the Arvocalists. Best voice team on Twitch. Thanks for Arvocalists. Bye for now. Good stuff. That was fun. More D&D. I know, I'm very excited about it, actually. Also, I really like this music. Can I just say, I really, really enjoy this music quite a bit. So that was awesome, and I want to thank Zac again. So we will get more of this done, but I think it's a good idea to be able to do this. So Raiders, I know you just arrived, and I'm starting to wrap up just as we did, but it's because we have over 30 hours of content planned for you. So before you leave, as you can see, we have raised $610 out of our $5,000 goal, which, considering we don't stream on Fridays, usually is a pretty good deal. That's a very good opening number. We would love to see more of this. This is all to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation, which is a foundation that has been around for many, many years, supporting young researchers doing innovative work into cancer research from a variety of different disciplines. You're going to have a chance to actually see day 2 of ArvCon begin with an interview of those scientists, 3 of them, who are going to be playing in a tabletop event themselves later on this weekend. And so all of that is to benefit this. Once we get to, no, it's totally cool. It happens, Roll. It happens. But it's good because you can find out more about this. If you like tabletop, and I'm assuming you do, if you like tabletop role play, everybody, we have more events like this. In fact, 5 more role play events are going to be happening. Tomorrow will be 12 hours of content, beginning with an interview of the Damon Runyon scientists, followed by a stream of By the Dice Roll playing the Greyhawk-based Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I'll be DMing that. Followed by Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks, as you just heard Zach talk about, kind of a Final Fantasy VII-ish science fiction fantasy mashup. They're just about to go onto the spaceship. It's going to be awesome. Another tabletop game. I will be DMing that. Then there will be a concert with Indy for an hour. He is awesome, as you've already seen. He's also awesome as a musician. And then at 9:30, the Shadow Crew, Community D&D, will be playing in Waterdeep Dragon Heist with the Shadow Crew in Community D&D. So that's all happening tomorrow, over 12 hours of content, most of it tabletop play. Sunday, we have our 8-hour marathon session of Eberron, Oracle of War. I will be DMing that. That will be finishing up Season 5, which is the next to last season of Eberron, Oracle of War, as they get ready to move on from level 16 to level 17. High-level campaign there. And then on Monday, we will have Michael R. Underwood running a game of Daggerheart, which has just been released, Darrington Press's new game that Mike consulted on. It was a design consultant for, and they are going to be doing that. So I'm super excited about that because they're going to be running this for those 3 scientists I mentioned at 3 o'clock. So a lot of stuff there is happening. If you want to know how you can contribute to make these donations happen, I'm happy to tell you. Donate right now. That is the number, or the link, I should say, to donate to. And we've got a ton of giveaways. We've already been doing a bunch. We have a whole bunch more to do every time we reach these giveaway milestones. So please join us for that. And please donate to this cause, which, as I say, is a super worthy cause for all of the people who've been affected one way or another by the impact of cancer. Otherwise, yes, please stick around. I will raid out to somebody else, but I really do want us to make sure that we come back tomorrow at noon Eastern. Remember, noon Eastern, Saturday, May 24th, a little less than 12 hours from now. I'll be interviewing those scientists for 45 minutes, and then we'll be moving straight on after that into By the Dice Roll, and more Ghosts of Saltmarsh is going to be awesome. So that is the deal with that. And raids are really simple here, actually. The way that we do those is very simple. I'm going to come out of here so that we can get rid of this music, although the music was awesome. I really like that music a lot. So the raid works this way. If you are not a sub, you can do this, which is the Arvanauts Have Landed, followed by Twitch Raid and so on. If you are a sub, though, you can do this, which is the Arvanauts Have Landed, Arvany Roar, Arvany Hype, Arvany Witch, Arvany Woe, Arvany Smug, Arvany Love, Arvany Blown, Arvany Crit Hit, all the Arvanys, when you were brought over auto-magically to the person that we are going to raid. And let me double check and see what that's going to be. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can actually do this. Hang on a second. Is that really all? I don't think. Yeah, I don't think this is all right. I'm gonna roll. I'm not necessarily gonna raid a Dungeons and Dragons stream because I don't think this is actually like correct. Because it's showing me 2 channels and it doesn't even show ours, and we're definitely on there. And oh, I know why. I know why. The reason it's not doing that is because I was looking at the wrong thing. That's what I needed to look for. Okay, now that all makes sense. I was like, what the frick? Okay, but now I get it. Okay, so I know who we are going to be. Yes, I know who we're going to raid. Okay, so we're going to do that. Parker, what's up, Parker? It's good to see you, man. Thank you. It's good to see you. Yeah, I hope you will join us for any of the rest of it if you can. It's good to see you, man. Thank you. We had a very good first day. 610 out of 5,000 is a very good opening day. So I'm going to rise up on out of here. I will see you folks Saturday, again at noon Eastern for the interview with the scientist, followed by 12 hours plus of tabletop play. But I'm going to rise up on out of here now. Please do not leave. Stick around for the raid. And thank you all so much for being here. And special thanks tonight to the amazing Arvocalists of Zac Clay, who GM'd for us brilliantly, and Rem Alternus and Indy, who were awesome. It was great fun to be able to play with them and to be able to hang out with all of you. So that's it. I will see you folks here for day 2 of ArvCon. Please donate and please spread the word. Let everyone know about this event. Let's get a ton of people out for here. Thanks as well tonight also to the mods for their amazing work today. Triffid and everybody running the mods, running the giveaways. Thank you so much to Triffid. Thank you to Shadowed Mage for that Arvocalist overlay as well. Thank you so much for being the best in the business. Thank you to Dragonspear, Prince Justin, Shadowed Mage, Triffidy Mats, Drew the Damager. Thank you so much for being awesome. Thank you so much as well to my Patreon supporters and subscribers: Dragon, Justin, Shadowed, Triffid, Drew, Nonstop, Ballsteg, Mrs. Dunsel. Thank you for the giveaways, the donations that many of you gave as well. Thank you so much to my viewers. Thank you to Open to Bear, to Bit, to Coffin Fairy. Thank you to Dan Spy, Drago Lucifer, Dr. Laser Falcon, of course, Parker, of course. Thank you to Isterma, of course. Thank you to Jagtris, of course. Thank you to Javaholic, Master of Rem, of course. Thank you to Anamaran. Thank you to Rolf the Misadventures, the Prince of Spades, and Zac Clay. And thank you so much, Rolf the Misadventures, for the raid tonight. I appreciate it. And I will see you folks Saturday, noon Eastern, for the interview with the scientists as we get started with day 2 of ArvCon 2025. Until then, everyone, please be good to each other. Stick around for the raid, and have a good night.